Hello, everybody. This is Mira, also known as Mira Shades GM, and today we are running an episode of New Amsterdam. Sorry for the slight delay, but we are here now, and also sorry for last week. Apologies. We've just had a lot of stuff going on lately. So, whatever the case, tonight is a fun one. Kind of give us a little bit of a look at the outside right now. Outside of the club, it is, raining, particularly hard at this moment. Um, and, probably there's a thunderstorm going on, lightly acid rain going down on just about everything. And I think the first thing that I'd like to do is show everyone, show everyone the work that I've been doing between games. We have the inside of the club completed.
No tokens of
I don't
vision.
know.
Don't own
Yeah.
a token.
Shit. All right.
Oh,
Apologies
shit.
on that one, guys. Just real quick. Okay. And then, 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 okay. Is that everybody?
I have a request.
Yes.
Are you able to just let us have full view of the whole club, so I can show our people?
Say what?
So I can show the viewers what this club looks like.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't know that I didn't have that.
We can only see about a 10-foot circle.
Apologies about that. Give me just
good.
1 second, guys. Let's see here.
1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi.
Whose icon is just
How's
an
that?
arm?
That's good.
That's Pandexter.
Yeah.
So, as you can see in the club, we have got the club floor itself with the classic dance floor look. We got the stage up here. We have a backstage. We got a kitchen, some bathrooms, 5 bathrooms for a whole nightclub, or 5 toilets in total for a whole nightclub, and 3 urinals. Probably not enough, but we'll expand later.
You act like that's not every club that.
That's fair.
Yeah, they're kind of bad about that because they kind of want you to, just buy and get.
Yeah, they also don't want you to be doing coke in the bathrooms. But that's not a problem here, because no one cares if you do coke on the table. Let's see here. Upstairs, we have from top left to bottom right, we've got Boris's office with the bear rug. We've got a little stock room, and then Lucky's office over there. Moving back down, we've got Scene's old room with the sleeping roll and the fucked up rug.
Orcs.
Huh? Orcs.
Orcs.
Yeah. We've got Cash and Trixie's room down below that. Below that is Cachette's room. And then going all the way to the bottom, we have got Felix's room currently. To the right of that is Crusher's room. To the right of that is Chocolade's room. And to the right of that is Paindexter's room. There is also now a laundry upstairs as a sort of facility that can be moved at any time. But for right now, this corner office was empty space, and Boris thought it best to have some on-site facilities that he didn't have to pay to build anything for.
Boris.
Yes. Boris, the club manager. Well, because Lucky's the club owner, Boris handles the day-to-day.
I don't think I've ever interacted with Boris before.
You might not have. I don't think you'd like Boris, Cash. He's an ex-river rat. Who he's a bit of a dick, but he gets good results, and he's not enough of a dick to step on anyone's toes.
Nice.
Ambitious,
Okay.
but a little sleazy.
Yeah. I like that you put a couch in Lucky's office. I asked for that.
That is where
Scav's only been there every time that we've had a scene in Lucky's office.
Yeah.
I know.
Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah.
I love
So
the
you got
high
the-
heels in
Yeah.
our
I mean,
office.
they're obviously Trixies,
Oh yeah,
right?
absolutely, they're Trixies.
That draws mine.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I've thrown it off. I was done with the day.
You'll notice that there is a small little pin of hay up here. That's for Taserface, and there's a little dirt in front of it, because bunnies be messy, yo.
They are
Also,
incredibly destructive little shits. They are not great pets.
absolutely.
I'm struggling.
And yet I still love them. And
Same.
also, I have determined in the bathroom here that Trixie is a flip-flop showerer. I'm sorry, this is the woman you're
No.
marrying.
No.
Wedding's
Hey,
off.
just be nice. At least you'll never get athlete's foot from her.
I
Yeah.
guess, but ew. Like, does she take her shoes off and wash and then put her shoes back on? Or does she
Uh,
never wash
She
her feet?
wears the flip-flops in the shower.
yeah,
But-
because here's the thing. I am not a flip-flop showerer, so I do not know the exact details about it. But
Honestly, fucking the chat needs to tell us because I don't know.
yeah,
I don't think
right.
the chat knows.
I
Shit.
hope that the chat does. If there are chat gods out there who can answer that question, please do. But
For real.
whatever the case, it is the inside of the club, right? You guys are kind of doing your thing. And as you are doing your thing, the first thing I'd like to go to is Lucky. So, Lucky, where do we find you in the club? Probably in your office?
Probably in her office.
That is what I assume. So, Lucky, you're in your office and you hear a knock at the door. Of course, seeing how you have that big window, you probably saw it was Chocolat walking up.
Okay.
Oh, and let me unpause the game so you guys can move your tokens to places you would probably be. Yeah, while you are, you get the I turned the grid off on here, so you should have full range of movement, by the way. But whatever the case, yeah, you see Chocolat coming up. She knocks on the door.
Yeah. Enter.
She enters, and this is the first time that Chocolat's really been like out of her room doing anything. We'll say. Probably she walks in and sees Scav lounging on the couch, and kind of gives him a slight wave, and he just gives her a big fucking grin. Um,
How
and
can I
then he
help?
kind of say what?
Talking to Chocolat. How can I help?
Yeah, she's like, yeah, well, I've been at the club trying to. I'll come down every once in a while to see what's going on, and well, to be perfectly honest with you, I think the club is great, but well, I think the uniforms could use a little work.
What do you have in mind?
And she just kind of like pulls out, like this must be what she's been in her room doing for a while, because she pulls out some very well roughed, like design document. What do you call those? Like just designs for
Blueprints?
outfits, not blueprints.
Oh,
They'd be for outfits.
Patterns.
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 Yeah, patterns. She pulls out some very well roughed patterns and kind of lays them on your desk and goes, well, I have a few options. And she kind of like goes over the options, and like probably there's one set that's more risque, one set that's more conservative, and one set that fits it as more of a theme bar, you know. She's like, I've been mocking up some designs in my room, and I figured, I mean, I have a couple examples of each of these in my room if you want some looks and want to give some notes, but I figured if I'm going to be around here, might as well lend a hand. Apologies if this comes off as being preachy or anything. Or not preachy, being nosy or anything.
Not at all. She probably looks at the designs for a moment. And she says, do you have a favorite, or do you think all three would fit this place?
I think all three would fit this place. And then she kind of points towards the more themed ones, and she goes, but I think this would set us apart from the competition. The raised shoulders on the men's outfits give a much more blocky appearance, more than human almost, in a kind of iconoclast way. And then having the more skimpy outfits that also kind of incorporate devilish features. Well, let's just say no other club in town is going to look exactly like it. And while it might seem a little chintzy, it'll bring in plenty of tourists.
Hmm. You talked to any of the employees about this?
He kind of pauses and goes, no, I figured I'd talk to you first.
Let them take it up to a vote. See what they like.
Kind of smiles and goes, I suppose I'll talk to Boris then and see if we can get a meeting and get a little bulletin posted then. Kind of gives you a smile. She probably pauses and goes, and I know that this is probably a weird roundabout way of saying it, but honestly, thank you for letting me stay here and get back on my feet. I appreciate it.
Well, she's probably, probably. She says, "Well, of course. Why wouldn't I?"
He goes, well, there's a saying here in New Amsterdam that I'm sure you're familiar with. If you ain't profitable, you're dead weight. So, thanks for taking on some dead weight.
She turns and playfully does the thing that she's been doing, wrapping Scav on the head with the ring on her finger. Just kind of knocks him and goes, I have this. Doesn't get much more dead weight than that.
He kind of turns and goes, I weigh at least 180 pounds.
Alive, she says with a wink.
Oh, he grins at that. She kind of looks at you guys like, okay, the couple's getting mushy. You know what? She seems
Right.
like not uncomfortable in like a this is workplace inappropriate, but more like I don't know what to do when people are getting
Right.
mushy with each other.
But,
you know.
that being said, of course.
Yeah. She kind of nods and says, well, I'll get out of your hair. I'll see if I can get this up and running. And yeah, I appreciate it. She probably heads out of the room.
Okay.
And Scav probably looks at you and goes, you know, you have a knack for that.
Knack for what?
Well, you know, everyone's always talking about how you're killing people and shooting people and being shitty, but you got a knack for helping people. It's gotta be bad for your reputation. Gives you like a big fucking grin.
She smiles. Well, that's why I go out most evenings. Have to keep the balance even, you know?
He kind of probably grins and goes, whatever you say, babe. That's why I stay in.
Probably best for you.
Yeah. And we'll probably cut from that office.
Okay.
And we are going to cut over to Cash. Cash.
Yes.
It's getting to about evening time today. And you know, you probably have a list of things that you need for the server for the Pirate Bay.
Yes.
And you're probably looking at these, and you know what are you doing?
Well, I'm in our space in our little apartment, and I'm on the computer, and I've got my list up in one screen, and then I have profiles of all of the people, the 3 people that I've interviewed,
Yeah.
and you know, I'm just kind of like cycling through the lists of stuff, and I only remember the girl that knows everything about me, and I can't remember anything a lot. I can't remember a lot about the other
So
2.
you've got Switch, who is the very serious, very good Hacker, who's a little sketchy. You've got Requiem, who is the dude who apparently hosted a data raid on the Monsantolina compound, freeing a bunch of indentured servants. And then you've got Crumb Kenny, the totally sloppy dude who seemed to like luck his way into like beating your challenge, and then you found out he went the triple long way around and still did it in under 5 minutes.
Right. Fucking Crumb Kenny. He's probably gonna be useful somewhere. Fuck it. So and I'm also prepping a package. I've already prepped all of the firewalls. I have partitioned all of the pieces to where I want them to be so that nothing touches. Basically, when I hire these people, they're going to have access to one partition, and that partition is their home, and it in no way touches anything else, at least from where they're at. And then I get to see the whole picture because, that's just, you got to have safeguards with these people because I am these people, and the first thing I do is try to find some fucking back doors, but you can't do it without like biometric access and some other bullshit, right?
Right.
So, so I'm looking at their shit, and I think I'm gonna hire all 3.
Okay.
And
go ahead.
Oh, and I want to meet up with them tonight
Okay.
because we have to go to DePip.
Absolutely. So yeah, you probably give them what, like an email, a call.
I'm gonna shoot a text.
Okay. Yeah, perfect.
Just a text that says, meet me in DePip. I don't know. When do you think? When would it start?
Like 7's a safe bet. It's like
Okay,
5
well-
now.
Okay. So I'm gonna say, meet me in DePip at the bazaar in 2 hours.
Okay.
Cash.
Right on. Absolutely, yeah. And the responses are as followed. Requiem sends you, got it. Crumb Kenny sends you, oh, awesome. Thank God I have a job. Holy cow. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm very excited to work with you. And then you get just a thumbs up emoji from Switch.
Honestly, Switch is the one I like the most right now. Like, just, that's fair. I immediately regret my decision to hire Crumb Kenny, but that's okay. We'll see what happens. Like, I see it, and surely Trixie's around, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. She does.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm gonna forward her the message from Crumb Kenny and just be like, tell me I'm okay. Tell me I made a good choice.
She probably looks back at you and goes, man, he seems desperate.
I know.
Desperate people maybe sometimes make good workers. They try harder.
I know. Maybe. But this guy, I feel like maybe he's just real lucky. Like dumb luck. It's gotta be dumb luck, right?
And she like looks at you and goes, well, dumb luck is probably one of the best kinds of luck. Smart luck is something that you have to make. You really want to trust somebody who tries to make their own luck?
This is true. This is why I love you. Also, one day I have questions about you showering with flip-flops, but we can talk about it another time.
She's like, babe, again?
I know. It's just like, do you wash your toes?
Of course I wash my toes.
How? How do you wash your toes with shoes on?
Well, how about you come into the shower with me and then you'll figure it out.
Actually, it's possible to do that.
I know.
You take your foot out of the flip flop, wash your foot, and then put it back in the flip flop after you clean the flip flop.
Sure, she gets a shower with her. Shush.
Well, true, but I'm just saying.
Flip flop showers.
I had to in the army. If you don't wear flip flops in the army barracks, you will get your feet nasty. Get the
Ew.
athlete's foot like a motherfucker.
You'll get
Ew.
the ick.
Get the ick. Yeah, no, that's a great idea. She's got a great idea. And
Mhm.
I want Trixie to go with me to DePip as well.
Yeah, you invite her?
Oh, of course, but like after the
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. For sure. And we'll cut away from that for a moment.
Yeah.
And we will cut to Trinix. Trinix, it is a day at work. And today at work has been, we'll call it a weird one. You've had Rainier with you, all day, that sort of thing. And Rainier looks significantly better than after the night that he ended up staying at your place as a bodyguard. He looks significantly less harrowed than he did before. He looks bored as shit and a little on edge all day, but he is not ragged, um and probably today at work has been a weirdly slow one. You're there, and the trickle of work that you've been getting is super small. You also have not seen Alphonse at all today, right? Dr. Alphonse has been missing. Not missing, but he's normally a staple of you being there. He's not right now. And as you're kind of doing this work, you probably it's getting to the end of the day. And what have you been doing to kill time at work? Because you've probably, out of an 8-hour day, you've had 2 hours of work, if that.
Okay, so I can't do my normal stuff because I got Mr. over my shoulder. So
Right.
what I'll do is I'll focus on further developing the studies for the other job to make that one more effective when I go back in between people coming in and stuff like that.
Right. And it's probably one of those things where because this would be at Artis actually. As in this would be
I had it the other way around. I thought I had it the other way around. Okay.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good. Just clarification point. Yeah.
Yeah, I would just do more research to do. Okay. Yeah, I would just focus on, if there's downtime, maybe just chilling to myself, take a few minutes, but most of it would be to further understanding how the brain works and actually focus on research like that and see if that gets noticed maybe.
Yeah. Go ahead and make me we'll do biology for today. Go ahead and make me a biology roll. Okay. Right on. So you're kind of doing this research, right? And as you are kind of flipping through stuff, you're starting to figure on the research that's been done. And there's been a lot of research, so parsing through it is, somewhat difficult. But, you end up coming to something that catches your eye a little bit. And essentially, it is about brain, like neuron reconstruction and psychedelia. And it appears that the department that you're working for has found some decent kind of progress in using ayahuasca, psilocybin, DMT, and datarana in reconstructing neural pathways. And it seems that that last one actually, all of these have their own little grow labs in a place called the greenhouse on the campus, which is a shared facility. But yeah, the last one, the datarana, which is a datura plant derivative, which is known for very unpleasant spiritual experiences, has apparently been used to great effect as of lately to spur further neuron activity.
So when I run across that, I'm like, okay, Well, that seems promising. And do a little more research on that,
Mhm.
because I don't think I can go. I'll probably go there tomorrow. Never
Yeah,
mind.
you
Okay.
can go there if you want. Yeah,
Uh,
it's one of
I
those
would
places
like.
that's for sure not locked down.
I know, but I'm thinking. Well, I look at the time and how much is left in the day. Can I
Mhm.
devote enough time to actually do a full observation note thing, or should I devote, more time to it? Just trying to think of what would be the best so I can not short myself going there and
No,
be like,
for
oh, I
sure,
gotta leave soon.
for sure, for sure. Um, but yeah, like as you're kind of looking at that, uh maybe over your shoulder you hear from Rainier, "Aren't you a little bit young for drugs? I mean, I fucked around when I was like 16, but I wouldn't advocate it."
It's research to further understand how the human brain works. Maybe we can make you less angry all the time.
He kind of actually chuckles at that and goes, "Fat chance on that one." And he looks at his watch and he goes, "Is it just me or does it feel like today's dragging on like a motherfucker?"
Well, it did, but I kind of distracted my brain with other research. You're just kind of sitting there, so.
Yeah. And you've noticed he's been reading a book this whole time. Like to kill time, he appears to have a book that he reads. It changes pretty frequently. Have you taken the time to try and like notice what he's reading, or are you just like, he's reading in the corner?
Actually, I probably would try to notice what he actually is reading to be like, okay, let's not be complete dicks to each other.
Yeah, no, you probably noticed that he does a lot of sci-fi reading. Right now he's been reading a lot of uh he's probably reading Dawn of Tomorrow right now.
Okay, I don't have a clue what that book is, and probably Trinix doesn't have a clue either. But
Oh yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
good luck with that book.
Yeah, absolutely. And he'll probably shrug and go, it's all right. You know. Um and yeah, as you're kind of reading, or as you're kind of seeing that, he probably looks and it's about time, and he goes, "Hey, you have any like real food lately? Like not this pill shit, but like something that tastes like acceptable and feels like you've, I don't know, eaten something?"
Uh, there was that burger a couple weeks ago, but I
Holy
think there was
shit,
that other
dude.
thing. No, I think the burger was the last real thing I had.
Yeah, and he looks and he's like, "Holy shit, kid. How the fuck are you getting through the day?"
Knowledge makes me motivated to keep going. More I learn, the more I want to keep going. It just kind of snowballs. You learn one thing and then builds into something else, and then food just kind of, hey, you need to eat. Kind of that whole idea of you need to eat just doesn't enter my brain, and it's kind of, you go, 6 or 7 hours and not eat, and then be like, maybe I should eat something, you know?
Yeah. And he's like, "God, you and every other fucking egghead here. Listen, we're getting off work. I'm making an executive decision." And he kind of pauses and goes, "I think it is within a tactically sound idea to try and mix up the routine. I know a burger place over in he's like, I know a burger place over in Plantage. Let's go and get some shitty diner food."
All right.
Yeah. And he probably you guys leave like 15 minutes early, and you head to a diner, and we'll cut back to that in a little bit. Next, we have got Let's see. Next. We have got Omen. Omen, you've got a show in about a day. You know, you got a day of prep before you're going to be playing a show at Good Old Days. What are you up to
Good
for
old
right now?
days.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of club is that?
Good Old Days is a Twilight-owned club. It is a total drug club. The whole idea is that people, drop in, tune out vibes.
Hmm. Oh man, he's probably making the drugs for his next grenades.
Hell yeah.
So he's like
And
preparing probably something that's essentially. Where's my iPad? Reach. Uh, it's just gonna be something that gets people fucked up this time. Not like everyone's gonna be in a sex craze, but just like let's just throw cocaine, but inhalant form.
yeah.
C and I will not be attending.
Well, no, this is just something that's I don't think you guys are coming to.
Lucky
Yeah,
might
because
be
that
there.
club. Say what?
Lucky might be there.
That's fair.
True.
There are sobriety masks provided at that club as like a thing of like, hey, listen, we know that not everyone here wants to like get fucked up, but also this club's express purpose is to get as high as possible on as many substances. So like, if you're a designated driver, we're just gonna make sure that we give you a mask before you even enter the door. You know.
Designated drivers exist in New Amsterdam?
I mean, it's a formality. There's probably some code that's being upheld by Democracy Ltd based on the old law system of Amsterdam itself. Some stupid shit like that. Seems like the kind of thing Democracy Ltd would do. Pointless bureaucracy from antiquated codes.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you're making those drugs, you actually hear your email go off with a ping. Now
You've got mail.
yeah, because you've got a route. You've got an email hole, like the kind of thing that catches all the shit and files it for you. And the only time it's going to ping you is with urgent emails that potentially you would be interested in.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'll take a moment to check my email.
Yeah. And you look at your email and you see it is from probably I am the Knight 67 at
A lot.
fucking ymail dot whoosy what's it. You know what I mean? Some shit like
Yeah.
that, at protonmail.com. There we go.
Mm.
Oh
Now
my
we're
gosh.
getting it. Yeah, but protonmail.net, they had to downgrade. .coms are expensive. But no, you get this email and it's a very, very simple email. It says, hey, heard about hey, I saw your all call on what's the name of the app again? Soundly. Saw your all call on Soundly, figured this might interest you. And it's a link to an article.
Yeah. I'll click it.
You click it, and the article reads as follows, or at least the headline reads as follows: exciting new developments in oxygenated ferrofluids and bloodstreams. And it's an article by some Science Digest. And as you read it, it appears that there has been interesting medical developments made by EMED that basically are about putting in highly oxygenated ionized ferrofluids that are specifically made to carry more iron in the blood in small, like micro doses
Small doses.
that are being used, or that is like a new exciting field of medical development that might help patients with anemia, including sickle cell anemia. And it also could be the precursor micro machine bloodstream infusions, right? Because right now the big issue with nanobots in the blood is that nanobots are pokey and there's so many avenues for it to go wrong. But like having tiny little iron pellets might give better diagnostic feedback as well and could even potentially bust clots. The thing you notice is that at the end of that article, and this is an article from like 2 years ago, it says that the technology is currently in patent contestants between EMED and its original progenitor, Zenith Diagnostics.
And this is the same stuff that was injected in me, highly oxygenated.
Well, it wasn't highly oxygenated. It was just straight up like some kind of ferrofluid. You actually didn't get a sample or like scientifically analyze it. So, the doctors were just assuming, yeah, dude's got iron shavings in his blood, like tiny, tiny little iron pellets in his blood. Let's get those out.
Okay. So we've got EMED and Zenith.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, just blowing up EMED's going to be so much easier. So let's just start there. No, I'm just kidding. Where are my notes? There they are. Okay. I will respond with some kind of flattery, like, I thank you, my most loyal of servants, kind of thing. Servant of the night.
Absolutely. Love that. Totally hamming it up.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was agreeing.
Yeah. But yeah, probably that's all you get from the email. And then, as you're probably right as you're finishing the respond, Jeffy comes in and goes, "Hey, how you feeling about tomorrow night? You feeling good? You feel all right? You feel like you got sharp things in your blood? Is that all gone?"
It is all gone, Jeffy. I am most excited for tomorrow night. It'll be a great break from everything else that's been going on.
Kind of nods and goes, "Yeah. Just to let you know, got extra security vetting out there. I made sure that those motherfuckers at Twilight knew what their contract meant. I added onto their rider a contingent of 12 armed guards of our own selection that are to be placed throughout the bar. I decided it would be a good idea to hire some North African mercs. If anyone's gonna know what the fuck's going on and see anything coming, it's those guys."
Wonderful.
Yeah, and he shoots you a dossier that has all of their names and faces so you can know. He's like, they're all going to be in plain clothes, but they're going to be let in, full weapon access. They're going to be hiding shit. Most of them have boardware in them, or not boardware. Most of them have cyberware in them. That's at least going to let them hide a pretty decent sized weapon. Those who don't have quick breakaways.
And, with cyberware nowadays, they could have it in their arm.
Yeah, exactly.
You're putting a lot of effort into this. I appreciate your consideration, Jeffy.
Like, absolutely. Anything to make sure that my client doesn't end up getting hit. And
I think he meant to say cash cow.
Yeah, no, totally.
I think he meant to say friend.
I suppose.
But he definitely kind of pauses, goes, "Is there anything that would make you feel more comfortable? Anything that I can do that club, make sure that that you feel good about it, that you feel safe?"
Oh, I am already safe around you, Jeffy. Maybe just stay close tonight when I bring my chosen one for a night of fun.
Kind of goes, "And you're sure you want to do that?"
Of course, lightning never strikes twice, they say, no?
Kind of says, "Yeah, I don't think that hit squads are lightning." Kind of goes, "If you're sure that you want to do it, I'm here for you. I'll be hanging out outside of the bus, and he actually hands you a small device, and he's like, "This is a dead man's, but well, you should be able to sync it up with your vocal prosthesis. If you have an issue, just say the code word, whatever code word you want to say. It's gonna light up every security officer and immediately call White Wolf. Just within 15 seconds."
Most wonderful. And don't worry, I'll be on my guard more than normal tonight.
Kind of nods and goes, "All right, well, rest up. You got a big show, big outing, first outing since your assassination attempt here in Naples. Just, we got your back."
Of course. Now, would you like to partake in some of my newest samples?
He's just like, I don't do that shit. He's like, "Is this a retreat with my boss? Because I don't do cocaine unless it's a retreat with my boss, and that's because he makes me do cocaine."
Who is Jeffy's boss?
Jeffy's boss would just be you probably
Random
would know his
person.
name. Yeah,
Yeah.
random, no one of like importance to your story at this
I wasn't
moment.
sure if he meant like his boss isn't me.
No. He means like the record exec who has signed you
Yeah.
and then like assigned him to you.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll probably cut from there, and we are going to cut to Cachette. Cachette, it's the big day. You are, it's about an hour till. What are you doing?
He's putting the final touches on his prototypes. He's probably actually down in the place where you do the shooty bangs at the things.
The shooting range.
The gun
Yes,
range, yeah.
the range.
Yeah.
The range. He's down on the range.
The
Yeah.
shooty bangs.
And he has a very familiar looking sniper rifle in his arms and is giving it a once over, pulls back the bolt, checks, puts it in, gives it a nice HK slap, which does nothing, but hey, it looks cool. Then aims down range and pops in. What caliber does Bessie shoot again?
20 millimeter.
Okay, so definitely has a nice.
Anti-material rifle.
So it definitely has a nice, good kick to it.
Mm-hmm.
Probably that poor little paper target he's shooting at is just gone.
Oh yeah.
Paper
He
cut.
didn't even hit it well. It's just gone.
Yeah. There never was. The gun is so powerful, it erases the existence that the paper target ever even did exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. You probably get that shot off, and then, you, as you're doing that, you actually notice you're getting a call on your agent from good old Bepano Stephanopoulos. Good old Jonah.
Yeah, well, he sits Bessie down, takes off his earmuffs, because Cachette practices gun safety, like all of you should.
Absolutely.
Always wear proper hearing things. Says, I've been out in an open field and fired off a 357, and I was deaf for the rest of the day.
Nice.
He'll pull out his physical agent because he's a loser and doesn't have an internal one, and he'll flick it on and be like, Bet! Stop himself. Bepano Stephanopoulos.
Yeah, he says, he probably pauses for a second and goes, yeah, I hear that, I hear that, you're, having a meeting today.
I am indeed with name.
I did not write the name down in my thing, but it's up here.
Sorry, I'm bad with
Anastovia.
names. Yeah, Anastovia.
Yeah.
With a
He
Miss
goes,
Anastovia.
yeah, and he goes, yeah. Oh, that's not what I want to do. He goes, yeah, so I heard. Kind of goes,
Is there
Kinda
something
goes,
I should know?
well, I'll shoot it straight with you. I was asked by by Chaim Fetterman to see if I could go with you. And I was asked by Chaim Fetterman not to tell you that he asked me to do that.
Yeah?
Kind of goes, Anastovia is, well, she's not exactly in good graces. It's not let me get his voice back. It's not because she has any bad standings. She's a high-ranking major domo in the organization, but well, there's a bit of a reputation, and potentially she's, well, let's just say that most of us have a very similar understanding of our situation in this city, and she does not seem to agree with that understanding.
Has she told you why I want to meet with her?
She hasn't. Heim has. Well, told me roughly what you told him.
Nod. Well, yeah, I forgot. I'm on the
Phone
phone.
nod.
The phone nodding. He's like, and are you going to? Well, what she said is, I don't serve power fantasies or something to that effect.
Kind of says, yes, but she's an interesting one. Sometimes she says things she doesn't mean. Sometimes she says things that she does. Whatever the case, at least for this first meeting, well, I know that we're technically even on favors, but if you wouldn't mind letting me come with you, I think it might be something that would at least set Heim's mind at ease. Not going to say anything of what happened. You're your own man. And as your own man, you can keep whatever company you want and whatever secrets. They'd be safe with me. I just know that whenever Heim says that I should be going with someone, well, I do my best to do so.
Of course you can come. As a favor.
Kinda says, a small favor, but a favor.
A small favor is all I need.
Kinda says, all right, well, I'll come and, I can pick you up, if that's okay. I don't know if you have any vehicles there right now, but it doesn't seem as if it is a good idea for you to be traveling in that suit.
Oh no, I thought about walking it right by all the werewolves I could find. I thought it would be fun.
He probably, you know that he would chuckle if he wasn't trying to be curmudgeonly around you at all times.
Mm-hmm.
He says, well, whatever the case, I'll be by in, half an hour?
Be waiting. Until then,
Yeah.
I still have to work on my products.
Good luck, good luck. And, God be willing, they all fire properly. And, he hangs up.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he'll pop back, probably pick up the brass. No, he's probably put a brass catcher on this thing if it didn't already have one.
Yeah, it seems like your thing. You've been putting brass catchers on everything.
Because it's a smart thing to do when you're doing something illegal.
It is smart. I agree. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
And also, we can reload him.
Say what?
We should get with the times, old man. We all use caseless ammo nowadays.
Okay, Sig Sauer.
You mean Barrett 50 caliber?
Wait, Barretts are caseless now?
They can be.
Ah, very neat. I didn't know that.
I was talking about like the M18 or whatever it's called.
But here, caseless ammo is not really a thing in real life.
Right. But yeah. So, Yeah, kind of. You're doing that, and we're gonna pull away, and we are going to pull. Let me just double check. Check, 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 check. All right. So, Payne Dexter and Connor.
Conor McGregor.
I almost called you Ryan again. God, you're not even playing Ryan anymore.
No.
But yeah, Payne Dexter and Connor. You guys are kind of hanging around because today is supposed to be the day that the Cage Crew gets with you guys about what's going on, right? About like what the mission is today.
Yep.
And as you're kind of killing time, are you killing time in the bar? Are you out and about? Like, what's the deal? First of all, what is the dynamic when you two are hanging out like? Because I would love to know that.
Well, it's been sitting at the bar, just watching people, and probably every once in a while commenting, "Yeah, that one's underprepared," as in not enough guns on them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're comparing people's defenses and everything.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. And as you guys are kind of sitting there at the bar doing your thing, you get a chirp. You get a chirp there, Payne Dexter, from an unknown number.
He'll answer it.
Yeah. And you hear on the other end, is this line being monitored?
Nope, everything's crystal clear.
All right. Good. Well, here's the thing. We got some news between the last time that we saw each other. Some upsetting news. The Cage Crew was going to be coming with you on this first reconnaissance, but, well, the circumstances have changed slightly. That doesn't mean that the pay isn't going to change as well. Positive, not negative. I'm not the kind of person to renege a deal.
Okay, what's the deal now? Is it just me going in and my partner? Or are you sending anyone?
He says, it'll just be you and your partner, but for good reason. You're going to be going to 315 Green Street. Well, let's just say that it's not too friendly to poser gangs. Well, anyone in particular, but this one isn't so great. A little dangerous. I'll let you know ahead of time. Well, there's two things you should know. One, every single poser ganger who's gone in there hasn't come out, with the exception of Travolta team recently, if our sources are good, which they are. Second thing, and this one's a little bit more on the dicey. I'm not a superstitious man, though I know that some of my namesake has played a man who is literally a superstition. That's not what I usually do. Kinda pauses and he goes, people say that 315 Green Street is haunted. We know it's condemned, but weird shit happens out there. It's real weird.
Okay, we got stories about things like that all over the place. I mean it, honey, the world is being FedEx to hell in a handcart.
Yeah, oh, he definitely goes, nice, that was a good one. Kinda goes, but here's the thing. At the very least, something to consider. A lot of people go missing around there. It's been condemned for a reason. It's owned by Democracy Ltd. They just left a place to rot. Even left power on in there. Who knows what the fuck is squatting in there. Whatever it is, keep your visors up.
Gotcha. All right.
Kinda goes, whatever you're looking in there for, well, word is, Travolta team went in there, and they came out just fine. And they seem to be relatively pleased. The other thing...
Even the Travolta that's not really a Travolta?
Apparently so. Here's the worst part. Looks like they brought someone with them. I don't know what the story is there. I don't even know if anyone's in there anymore. Maybe he was the goddamn boogeyman. But, whatever the case, if you can go there, check it out, maybe see if you can figure out what happened there, who they took, why they took them, all that good stuff, and then get us that information back. You'll get the first half of your payment.
All right. Hope this doesn't blow up in my face. You
Yeah.
were supposed to come with me, but now you're not.
He goes, like I said, if the situation was any different, your shoes would be my shoes.
Well,
My guess
I
is
hope
that
everything's
one
okay.
of
You're
them
not gonna
got a tummy ache.
Made too many Philly cheesesteaks.
That's right.
I hope you guys aren't trying to cross me, because if you do, it doesn't matter how far you run. There are some demons you can't escape.
God damn. And he goes, God, you're so fucking good at this. But, no, trust me. A cage doesn't turn back on his friends. And right now, amigo, you're the closest thing I got. Well, aside from the other 4 dudes in this room that look exactly like me.
Oh God, Lord help us.
And your, ex-mole now, but possibly Switch, who's pretending to be a Travolta. Do you think he's going to come back to you?
At this point, we don't know what he wants. But we know one thing for certain. There's some bridges you can't unburn.
All right. Then I'll talk to you again when the job's done, or at least this leg of it.
Says, excellent, cage out. And like clicks the phone.
I love this.
Yeah. So what do you do now?
That was when I turn to Gregor and I say, let's ride.
Let me guess. They're not coming.
Of course not. And they got us looking into a haunted house.
The only
Poindexter's trying not to laugh.
the only haunted house there is the one that's in your mind.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, they're up in the pay. So,
Okay, let's go.
all right.
Love that. Yeah, so we're gonna follow you guys for a little bit because we've got some fun stuff happening.
Because this has been promised to us for like 3 weeks, and everyone wants this.
That is right.
All right, so let me real quick. So we've moved over here. I'm gonna give Gunner. I'm gonna give you a cameraman sort of position here. As for Connor and Poindexter, you guys are gonna be put right here. Nope, that's 2 Connors. That's not what I meant to do.
You
Let's
don't
see
need 2
here.
of us.
Right, and then I'm gonna do. Where is Woman in Black? Okay, so
Woman in
for
Black's
those,
not really there. I get it.
yes, no, she's just the cameraman, and yeah, for everyone else who is in our current like Discord call, if you just want to watch stream to keep up with this map play, that would work perfectly. So it is nighttime. It is raining. I don't have the module that makes it look like it's raining, but whatever the case, you guys pull up to 315 Green Street, a derelict mega building that has several strands of police tape across the front doors and a lot of detritus and litter in front of it, though strangely enough, you do not find a single homeless person loitering around it. Definitely something that's not quite usual. And this is up in Waterfront.
You say that, and I go to look at the big map, and I realize I can't see the big map right now.
Do you want me to throw you on the big maps? Do you have a
No, it's fine.
Right on. So yeah, you guys find yourself in front of this building. The building has a couple streetlights in front, and like I said, do not cross police tape on the front doors.
Think there's a back way?
Since when did police tape stop us?
It's true, but that's the direction most people will be looking for us to come in through, right? The front door.
But then they'd be thinking, we see the police tape. This might be a trap, so we're going to go find the back way in. And they're actually going to have the trap there. Because that's what they're going to be expecting us to do, because we're expecting the trap to be here.
Poindexter kicks the door.
Yeah, you kick the door, and you guys can open those doors however you want. I don't think it's paused, so you guys can follow however you want. All right. Excellent. So, you guys find yourself in this apartment building. You are surrounded by moldering purple carpet with golden and brown highlights. The lights in here barely work, and the only thing that actually seems to work consistently is the vending machines that flank to the left and to the right. You see a small sitting area, and it looks like the power in this place is pretty rough, as there's a lot of flickering lights around.
Well, they kept the lights on.
That's kind of them.
Let's see. And Connor, I need to give you is there a built-in dark vision?
Yeah, it takes a little bit of
Takes a little finagling to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's how we'll do it. Connor, I will describe stuff to you and like kind of hover my mouse around the areas that they are at. But I do not have the module for dark vision. Apologies. I did actually think that was a built-in thing. But I figured you have cyber eyes that let you see fucking everything, probably.
Just about every spectrum.
That's what I figured, yeah. But yeah, you find yourself in somewhat of a lobby area. This place is abandoned, and it smells kind of wet and musty.
Now
Hey,
that
that's
we're
a good
in,
band
I'll look
name.
around, see if
I
there's
agree.
anything trap-like with the door that's in front of us.
Okay, go ahead and make me an awareness notice. Okay. It is apparent to you that the police tape that is over this door has been removed and replaced several times. The police tape is worn and it is tied in a way that the police would not do. Looks like the adhesive on either end of the police tape has long since dissolved, meaning that this door has been used many times and someone keeps putting the tape back on. Good.
I guess I'll
Wet
do the honors
and
next time.
musty. Is the name shortened to WAM?
Good.
Oh, is that what Whammis means?
Yeah. But yeah, what were you going to say, Connor?
I guess it's my honor this time to kick the door open.
Okay.
Your turn.
Kafoom! You kick the door open, and a fresh, rancid smell hits you. You guys know this is the smell of decomposition. No two ways about it. You've smelled it before, you'll smell it again. Not exactly uncommon in New Amsterdam. In front of you, you see several rebar spikes that are jutting out with what appear to be clothes that have been ripped and bloodied, hung on it as if it were some sort of coat rack from hell. To your left and right, you see poorly lit hallways with doors that have police tape over them.
Yeah, I'm not putting up with this smell. I'm activating my vac weave.
You're good. Yeah. No. Smells like nice fresh air. You got any flavorants in it?
No.
All right.
Just fresh air.
Not even gunpowder flavor.
Oh,
That's
no.
the
My
most
nostrils
famous
have
with mercury.
nostrils been burnt enough already with that smell. I can't even smell it anymore.
Yeah. By mercury, I meant mercenaries. My mouth doesn't work. Talking is hard. One other thing. You do notice that down here, it's kind of hard to see, but there is, in fact, what appears to be a police evidence placard right over a shell casing.
I'll
Okay.
I'll nod towards both ends of this little hallway. Blind corners. Shall we check each at the same time?
Might as well.
And just to give you that little investigation on that placard and shell, this has a 7 on it, probably 7A. It looks like a 556 casing. Nothing special about it.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, you guys getting in position?
Yep.
Right.
I'll take out my pistols finally, just in case, because I'm about to turn a corner.
Nice. And yeah, you guys are both in position.
So just a quick question for Payne Dexter. Did
Mhm.
you want me to bring that? My remaining heavy gun or the room sweeper?
The room sweeper.
Okay, I got the H&K.
Nice. Nice.
And I'm remembering we have comms, so it's a good easy count. 1,
Yeah, mine's all
2,
internal.
3, and we both step out to see what's around the corner.
All right. So, commonalities. Both of you see a door or two with police tape ripped off of it. You also see police set up some lines for bodies as to where they had fallen, and several old browned bloodstains. So specific to Payne Dexter's side, you see the door that has the tape ripped off of it is incredibly well maintained compared to the other doors around here. And you actually hear faint, what must be music coming out of it. As for Connor, the difference for yours is the door is much closer, and there looks to be like a massive amount of filth in that general area, especially with the crime scene there.
We've got a fresh door over here, and something's playing music on the other side.
Yeah, let's deal with that first. I'll come and join you.
Now it's time to be very, very quiet.
As you guys walk up, you hear, jerry-rigged to the building's loudspeakers, you actually hear something very, very quiet. You hear classical music. Sounds like maybe it's from the, I don't know, probably from the Romantic era, which is not true at all, actually. It's not from the Romantic era. But you guys aren't musicians. You're piano music.
So it could be Baroque.
Probably Baroque is
Well,
my
if
bet.
it's
What was
Romantic
Mozart?
era, Mozart was technically a classical composer.
So you hear classical music then. Thank you, Gunnar.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Bach that you were doing?
No, wait,
Bach
you're
is
right. Hold on.
Baroque.
It is Bach, yes. So it'd be Baroque. You hear Baroque music. My bad. I promise I did the research. I'm just a little head empty.
It's okay, we'll forgive you. Just because I grew up with all that music as a child.
Oh, so did I. I was a band nerd. But yeah, Payne Dexter, you walk up to the door and you see that this door is heavily reinforced.
Check it to see if there's any traps, any explosives or tripwires on the door as is.
Go ahead and give me, yes, perfect. You take a look, and it doesn't appear that the door is trapped. The one thing you can tell, this door is basically a vault door. It is several layers of plasteel reinforced with a steel frame, and it looks like the steel door frame is actually interlatticed into the wall. Whoever put this door up did not want anyone getting in through that front wall at all.
We're not going to be breaking into this, not through this door, unless you've got a magic set of keys on you.
Well, I don't have a magic set of keys, but I brought a few little things from the more bigger gun. And a couple of little things called blasting caps and det cord.
Okay.
Maybe we should save that for after we've cleared out everything else.
Well, I'm thinking right where this lock is, if I put one of these things, it'll just burn it right out. And he presents one of his Willy P grenades.
Okay, you're the demo expert. Go ahead. And Paint Dexter backs up to the... Is this a door back here?
Where are you looking?
Right next to my...
there we go. Yes, that is a door.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Okay, so...
I'll wait by this door while he has fun.
Let's see. So I believe that's a demolitions roll, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Yes. If you wouldn't mind rolling the demolitions. Okay. As you are beginning to set up what you are sure is going to be a very excellent opening, you hear over the loudspeakers, "Hello, edge runners."
On the comms. Great, we've got a talker.
Why do we have to be a talker?
Kind of says, "I don't think I would do that if I were you. I do have a piece of advice, though. The door that's on the hallway to the east side might lead to a few secrets that you might be interested in finding. However, that would just be my 2 cents."
I'll look at Connor. What do you think? Trap?
Yeah, it's a trap.
Do you guys have subvocal that you're doing? Or is this speaking at a small volume?
Hold on, let me look at my gear.
This is my
I can't
internal
remember.
phone splicing.
That's what I was thinking for. I know you've got something for everything. I'm more questioning about Pain Dexter.
I'm trying to see what I have. That. No, it's speaking very quietly.
Okay. So probably when you say, what do you think, trap? You probably hear over the loudspeakers, "I wouldn't call it a trap. Unless you think that learning things that you don't originally know would be something detrimental to your health."
That takes on an entirely new meaning if Dexter really knew what was on that stuff that was in Hacker Hank's head.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, straight up.
But as it is, he does not know any information that is detrimental to his health.
Probably says, "I can tell you, you might run into a little bit of resistance, but by looking at you, I don't think that at all these would be issues for types like you."
He looks at Connor. Let's go stick a stick into the bear trap.
Might as well.
All right.
So it's like walking over to the other hallway again, muttering the entire
Absolutely.
way about how he's surprised the guy didn't start off saying, "Shall we? I'd like to play a game."
Right.
Yeah, I know, eh?
Let's see here.
I'll take it. That's the door he's talking about.
Paindexter looks around looking for cameras this time and saying, well, is it?
Probably as you're looking around, you hear, find the truth, and it shall set you free.
What sort of Silence of the Lambs bullshit is this?
Hush, I'm enjoying it.
It's going to be quite interesting. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I did leave the really pee on the door.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. You open the door to a room that is dark. There is a light switch beside you if you would like to activate it.
Yeah, I turn it on.
Okay. You turn it on, and you see several sleeping rolls on the ground and several chairs, and a standard setup of a fridge, a cabinet, and a microwave.
Yeah, before I move any farther, I look for booby traps.
Absolutely. You do not find any booby traps.
It's all clear.
You sounded so disappointment with that.
Yeah,
You're like,
did.
I want there to
It's
be
all
mines
clear.
and shit.
I want there to be booby traps. I want someone to say there's claymores in these door frames, so I can say, why are there swords in the door frame?
Yeah, right?
I want this to be an AD&D Gary Gygax experience.
Oh, no.
Oh no. If you want that, I'll run you a first edition campaign.
No,
Okay?
no, no,
No.
no.
God, no.
Yes.
Scott's like, turn it to hurt me plenty.
Why did that not surprise me? Scott said yes.
Oh, God. Let's see here. So, yeah, you guys, you walk in through this door and you see that this is clearly the bathroom door for this apartment, which has been cleared out of all furniture. Yep. And you open it and you see something quite curious. You see both the bathroom door and a couple openings on either side. It appears that there are holes in the walls leading to the maintenance shafts of this area, the piping and wiring.
Well, yeah, Connor's going to go to his right.
Okay.
So upwards.
Excellent. Yep.
Pandex will go left just in case.
Let's see here. And, as you're kind of doing this, go ahead and make me an awareness notice. And if you get a bonus to sound, please incorporate that. Okay. Excellent.
Yeah, I do get a +2.
You get a +2? All right.
Yeah.
So, Connor, you just barely faintly hear the sound of shuffling, like so you know how when you kind of are in a cave and you can hear that there's something like way far down, but you don't know like where it is?
It's hard to tell where it is.
Exactly. You kind of hear some vague shuffling pretty far off in the distance. It's if it wasn't for your optical, if it wasn't for your not optical, your audio enhancements, it probably would have gotten lost in the sound absorption of the carpet and any furniture.
Anything down there?
For you, Computer King, Paindexter, you see the back of this rebar wall, and you found where those clothes came from and where the smell is coming from. There is a pile of several bodies here. The more upsetting part about it, well, there's two things. You're not sure which part is more upsetting. I'll let you decide that. The first part is that all of them appear to be harvested of some sort of piece of them, right? Maybe there's a flank cut off of their torso. Maybe one of their legs is partially flayed. Maybe one of their arms has kind of been cut through. But it looks like chunks of them have been cut off. Only one chunk per body. Here's the other part. All of them are poser gangers.
Which gang?
Well, there's a few. There's Danny DeVito. There's a Kid Rock. There is we'll say that there's a Willem Dafoe. There's probably a Matthew McConaughey. I mean, I'm just talking a rogues gallery of, biomodded people, just looking like, there's no pattern. It's just, but there's only one of each.
All right, so we've moved past Saw straight to Silence of the Lambs and The Bone Collector. Great.
Bone Collector's such a good movie. But yeah.
Yeah, and the minute you say there's a pinhead, that's it. I'm done.
Is there any correlation between what piece is missing and what star they are?
Maybe. Like, for instance, the Danny DeVito has a huge piece of his back cut off. The Kid Rock, like one of his biceps has been cut clean off, Probably one of the worst ones is you see a Christina Aguilera with part of her face gone.
They even went so far as to hunt down someone doing a burlesque character. Because they're all these people are in movies, right?
Yeah, movies or music.
Oh, so they've
because
added
Kid Rock
music.
I don't know what movies Kid Rock would be a part of, but I need someone to tell me so that I can avoid them forever.
Oh, that's true.
But yeah, no. And I mean, honestly, it could be any celebrities. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't appear that there's a pattern to the poser gangers that are here. None of them are armed. Some of them have cybernetics. All of them, of course, are gene modded. Connor, you walk into this room and you see another light switch. You want to turn it on?
Yeah, turn it on.
Click, click, click. You see a room with a mattress leaning up against a bed. The standard fridge, counter, and microwave situation are a little bit displaced, and there's a couch in the middle of the room. The other thing that you notice with your eyes, do you get UV?
Yes.
Lots of stains in here. Lots of stains.
By the way, Mira,
Mm-hmm.
he was in Joe Dirt and Osmosis Jones.
Wait, he was in Joe Dirt?
Oh, both of those are good,
Yep.
though.
What did he play in Joe Dirt? Did he play Kid Rock in Joe Dirt?
Somebody named Robbie.
Oh, he played the douchebag in he played the douchebag who tried to steal Joe Dirt's girl and make him feel like a fad. Yeah. Yeah.
And in
then
Osmosis Jones, he played Kidney Rock. I'm injured.
I hate that. Yeah. Connor, you want to turn on that light as well?
Yep.
All right. In here, you find a large barricade. And give me an awareness notice, actually. Nice. You notice in that barricade is a safe. And the safe is open and empty. And by the way, this classical music is still playing.
Of course.
Yeah. boop, boodly doop doop. It's a bathroom without a light bulb in it. You know, standard poverty level mega building shit.
I don't care whether you said Bach or not. I keep hearing Moonlight Sonata in my head.
Honestly, not necessarily a bad not wholly inaccurate. There's a couple in these arias that are a little bit more sad. All right. You come into this room, you attempt the light switch, but it does not turn on. You look up and quickly realize the reason it does not turn on is because this lighting fixture has been destroyed by a hail of bullets. You do see several mattresses in here, and that sound that you heard earlier, it's still just shuffling, but you can tell you're getting closer.
Okay.
Go. Pain Dexter's like, hold up. Let me catch up.
Yeah, he's checking the doors and corners and then following slowly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because he didn't hear the shuffling.
Correct.
Oh, yeah. By the way, there's something moving up here. Don't know what yet.
Yeah. And that's not what I wanted to do at all. Let me just do that. And
Probably
do that.
An industrial-sized rat.
Yeah, right. You enter the room, and you see 5 body bags, a bed, and the standard configuration of a fridge, counter, and microwave.
Okay.
Probably my favorite part about this is describing the fridge, counter, and microwave in every single room.
It would be.
And this is a door over here, isn't there? Back into the
And
other
there's an
hallway.
opening in the
Yes,
wall.
you actually can unlock it if you like. Would you like to?
Yeah.
It is unlocked. You want to open it? There you go. Yep. And you see the hallway.
I will step out into the hallway just far enough to take a look and see if someone's at the door we put the explosive on.
You do not see anyone at that door, though it looks like the Wily Pete and Fuse is on the floor in front of the door.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, figures.
They took their chances and probably got whatever it was out of that vault door while we were fiddling around in here.
If that's even the target. Like some bad 90s horror movie.
And as you say that out loud, by the way, Computer King, you probably hear, the only thing I've done is ensured that I am safe. You wouldn't want an animal in a cage to feel as if it could walk out at any moment, nor would you want the opposite.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. Guess you're still there at least.
Yeah.
Are you actually playing the piano?
No. This actually would happen to be the astounding and always fantastic. The astounding and almost always fantastic Glenn Gould, playing Bach, one of the most wonderful, transcendent versions of this. It seems as if he can feel the very soul. Do you ever wonder if people who pretend to be other people attempt to feel this same verisimilitude?
Did you collect some action figures out in that other room?
Collect is such a strange word. I would say that I have curated every one of them, trying to come for the lost treasure, not a single one of them realizing the real treasure is simply being themselves.
Okay, that's a little bit better than the friends they make along the way, because I thought that you were going to say that.
Kinda says, Oh, cliches have their time and place, don't they, Dexter Payne?
Yeah, I guess they do. I'm looking around to see if I can spot whatever camera
Oh yeah,
might be around here.
you see plenty of cameras around here. Looks like cameras are in the light fixtures.
Ah. Well, that makes it that much more important not to shoot them out. Gotcha.
Well, it might explain the room back here, that's for certain.
Oh, just a little bit.
Connor, where you are, you hear the shuffling, and it's got to be like a room away.
I can see a bit of a body up here.
So, first of all, for those of you that can see the bodies, that token is a last-minute token. Those of you who know. The other thing is, you actually see what looks like someone kind of limply shuffling in the room. In fact, you see a Travolta limply shuffling in the room.
Hey, over here.
The guy kind of looks at you, and you see protruding from his head are 3 large prongs. As he looks at you, you can make out the optics in his eyes, which look to be very painful. They appear to be, you know how like a lot of optics, they'll do a very careful procedure to slip it right under the layer of your eyes and not interfere with anything. These look like they were basically welded onto their head, right? The Travolta kind of looks at you and just and starts walking forward, and you hear the entire room with all sorts of different celebrity voices.
Oh no.
Oh, nope.
It's
You
the
hear,
night of the living movie dead.
yeah, and you actually probably hear from the speakers, "Oh, it appears that you've done it. Do what you wish with them. They're not mine, after all." Whoop. And yeah, these guys are
Oh,
approaching.
I have the gun at the ready.
Okay. Yeah, you see one break the doorway. It's the Travolta. And this guy, he looks like he's dressed as what's his name from Greece. Danny?
Danny Zuko.
Yeah,
Danny,
he's dressed as Danny Zuko. His clothes are pretty ragged. Looks like he was in some sort of scuffle, and now he's got all sorts of crazy shit like on him. It looks like he's got like rippers on his hands that he's now brought out. He's shuffling as if he has no idea what's going on, but with an aggressive body posture.
and
So what's the
I
plan?
see these poor guys here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You see all sorts. You probably see like a Tina Arena. You see you probably see a Miles Davis. You see a Michael Caine.
These poor bastards. And I'm just spraying in the general direction.
Beautiful. Go ahead and give me an attack roll. God damn. Yeah. So yeah, you have these 3 just go down immediately. They die. That the loud sound appears to have just out of nowhere, just as like a whole bunch of them start like getting lined up, and start like heading towards you. Computer King, what are you doing right now? You're seeing some
I'm
of
a
this
room
happen.
away. Yeah, I'm a room away, and I'm seeing this horror show playing out.
It is a horror show.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Matter of fact, it's such a horror show that the one in front of you is Wes Craven.
Ha! Nice.
Yeah. Are you
So-
gonna do anything? You gonna shoot at him, or are you just gonna let Connor take them all?
I'm gonna let Connor take them all. I mean,
right.
they don't.
Okay.
Do they look like they're gonna be trouble, or is it just
No, they
numbers?
look like cannon fodder. They really don't look all that impressive compared to Connor's years and years of mercenary service.
Yeah, they're just wheat being chopped down right now.
Yeah,
So-
go ahead and give me
That is-
another roll there, Connor.
Oh yeah, he slaps another mag in and just like, oh Jesus Christ.
God damn, Connor. Yeah, you see as rounds just rip through these guys like paper. Probably, and as you're seeing this, you're seeing the kind of menagerie that you're up against. You see probably, who do I want it to be? You see a Surge Tankin, with just like an arm that's a massive drill. And you see like you see a Bill O'Reilly whose face has two fucking whose face has two fucking gun barrels coming out of it. Like, this is fucking insane. But they're all dead. That's easy. You know what I mean? Probably as you hit the Bill O'Reilly, he hits the ground and just bang bang like into the ceiling.
Who made this 3-ring circus? Oh my God.
You want to just finish the last two off there?
I'll finish the last two.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, super fucking dead, reducing them to chunks. Yeah. You probably the last two are very interesting because the second to last one appears to be a Nicolas Cage, who has a chainsaw for a leg. And then the last one appears to be a Mads Mikkelsen, whose face has been replaced with a metal shield. Doop! And they're dead. You hear through the loudspeakers, "Wow, very well done, Mr. McGregor. It appears that you are very well versed with that weapon. Perhaps a little too versed. In the final room that you'll be able to access, you'll find some interesting items in the microwave. Afterwards, if you would like to join me for a brief siesta, you may come to my room." And yeah, you walk through this room over just all these bodies that are just mechanical monsters. Like flesh and metal fused together in horrible perversions of the human form. As you walk into the final room, you see a unkempt bed that is soaked in old blood, a couch that is facing the corner, and you see the standard fridge, counter, and microwave arrangement.
Yeah, let's check out the microwave.
You open the microwave, and inside, you find two things. You find first a small black case that looks almost like something you might carry a ring in, with a Trinity logo on top of it that you would know is a Zenith Diagnostics logo. And you find a manila folder with that has 3 papers in it.
Look at the 3 papers.
Taking a look at the 3 papers, let's see here. This seems like the kind of thing that would be appropriate for a... we're gonna go with a tech roll. It'll just be to understand what you're reading there.
Just a basic tech roll.
Yeah. Yeah, Connor, you're taking a look at it. This is scientist bullshit. You've got no idea.
You figured this out? Where's Trinix when you need
Let
him?
me see.
By the way, how many ones are we going to roll today?
Right? There's been a lot of them.
You know?
That happened yesterday, too.
Right? Computer King, you start to read through it, and most of this is jargon that like you aren't going to understand because you're looking at it and you're like, oh, this is specialty field stuff. Like this is stuff that like someone is specifically studied a long time for. But you get the basics. You get that this is some sort of proof for a some kind of behavioral chip. It looks like Zenith Diagnostics and Panopticon work together on this chip, and it seems like the chip is stored in this small black like ring box looking thing.
Okay, now, are there any rooms around that we've been through that don't have any light?
Here, let me turn on the ones that do have lights. Doop, doop, doop. And that is it, I think. So yeah, I've turned on all of the rooms that you've been in that have functioning lights.
Okay. I'll take the papers with me. Oops. There we go.
Yeah, I'll take the little back box.
Okay.
Put it in one of the empty ammo pouches.
Like that idea.
Just sort of like buttoned up. Just like, yep, just stay right there.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, this nice little central room doesn't have any lights going on, does it?
Correct.
Yes.
Good. That's a good place to take a nice little picture of a couple of the pages and send it to Cash.
Okay.
With a note saying, translate, question mark?
Can I
And,
do that for you?
Yeah. We'll actually cut to you, Cash. You're on the way to the bazaar, and you get a couple pictures from Payne Dexter of a document of some kind. Give me a computer's roll.
Is that interface or no?
There should be a skill for computers specifically. What am I thinking of? Let me take a look.
Because I don't
on
know.
your
I don't have a
sheet.
computer roll. That's
Yeah.
not a thing I have.
Here, let me take a look on your character sheet.
Yeah, I've got let's see here, system knowledge,
Cyber tech.
interface, cyber tech. Hold, please.
Okay.
How'd I do?
What'd you get?
I don't know.
25.
25.
So, Cash, you can tell two things about this document. First, this is a design document. It doesn't appear that, like, it appears it's a prototype document, and it doesn't appear that whatever this prototype was worked. The second thing you glean from it is that you can tell that this chip is some sort of behavioral sync chip. Looks like it's designed to make the user emulate some sort of behavior. Past that, it's very vague as to what the chip is actually for, though it does use this term repeatedly that says total synchronization. There is a footnote for it, but the footnote has been blacked out.
No way to see what's in the footnote?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay. So I'll send back all of that information to Payne, and then I will mention maybe hold that footnote up to the light if you can, because I can't get it. Congratulations on your interesting product you picked up.
I look at Connor. Shall we go meet our host?
Yeah, let's go see him. I hope he has some scotch because this is just. Ugh.
Yeah, right on. So, yeah, you're going to. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. And the door to this is now unlocked. And you see that there is actually a welcome mat on the floor in front of the door.
I wait for Poindexter to catch up.
Zoop-a-doop-a-doop-boop. Okay.
There we go.
You open the door and you see a very well manicured room. This room appears to be the room of a gourmand, as there is a large amount of cooking equipment, butchery tools, and spices, various vegetables. On this table is a big old mean knife. And as you enter, you see sitting at this table here with a plate of some sort of very fancy looking meal is a spitting image of Mads Mikkelsen as Hannibal Lecter. And he turns and he says, "Excellent. I've been waiting for dinner company. Apologies that I haven't fixed you a second plate, but when it's fresh." And he just is casually eating. He says, "Apologies on the lack of seating. Please, wherever you may find a seat, you may sit, though I understand you might be more comfortable standing. Men of action usually are."
Yeah, I'll just stand. Thank you very much.
He kind of
Same.
gives you guys some gentle, knowing smiles with this very unnerving kind of sense of like, yeah, I knew you were gonna do that. you know? And he says, "Now, I'm sure you have a few questions for me. Let's start with question number 1. What is going on here?" Was that question number 1?
Oh, let's just say it was in my top 3.
He gives you a smile and goes, "Humor is deflection. It's a good way to cope with unfamiliar situations." Kinda. Oh, go ahead.
Let's just say I've seen some pretty deprived situations, but back there, that was just bad.
He says, "Are you referring to the curated menu or to the livestock that someone so..." And he kind of pauses and says, almost with a cocked eyebrow, "graciously left me."
Let's just say a little bit of A and a little bit of B.
Kind of nods and says, "Yes, well, it is certainly an interesting situation that we find ourselves in. This building is quite interesting. You know, when they condemned this building, they came door to door. But, seeing how I had already reinforced mine, they didn't even bother to try and knock. I didn't realize that this place was going to become such a ghost town. Certainly makes my hobbies quite a bit easier. A gang shootout here or there often clears out those of weaker constitutions."
If what's going on was the first question, what's the second?
The second question is, if I didn't make those automata, then who did, and why? How close was I to the mark?
I think that's about right.
And he's got this just pleased as punch. I mean, you guys have seen Silence of the Lambs. He's got that Hannibal Lecter, "Oh, I'm so happy I guessed the right thing." You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he says, "Well, you see, whenever I was left to my own devices, it appears that there was one other gentleman left here, someone of a similar persuasion to me in multiple ways. We'll call him Bill." And hold on, let me see real quick. I want to make sure I'm right. No. We'll call him Gerald. Gerald, you see, was curious and interested in the way that bodies ticked. He also happened to find himself in the possession of something that he shouldn't have had. Naughty boy. And it appears that you have found yourself in possession of that item as well. It's a shame, though. If you'll open the package, you'll find that this is an illusory victory.
I looked at Connor.
And why would it be such an illusory victory?
He says, I'm sure you can feel it in your pocket. You're a smart man, McGregor. The box is empty. Has been since yesterday. Of course, yesterday is an interesting day. Yesterday is the day that I lost my neighbor Gerald. Yesterday is the day that the people who came here lost one of their friends as well. Yes, we saw quite a bit of company yesterday, and without my operating partner, I fear that I won't find much company any longer. Now, I have the kicker of this conversation. As you probably have noticed and are thinking in your head, you probably think that this jackass is pedantic and often finding himself talking in circles. Well, there's a reason for that. Because I know something that you want. I know the next step in your investigation. A face-off is coming. And he kind of smiles at that little joke. One that might be a little bigger than you thought it was at the start. The reason that the cages decided to not be here is quite clear. I am in hell. But I am the devil. And the devil knows all that happens in his realm. Now you're probably wondering, what does he know that lets him sit there and be so smug as he casually eats someone's liver with a Chianti and fava beans? And he smiles and says, apologies, I couldn't resist. Well, go on. Go ahead and ask.
Assume I asked the question. Simply answer it. You've been doing very well asking the questions yourself so far.
And he smiles and he holds up his finger and goes, quid pro quo, Poindexter. I've been quite a fan of your work. You seem to be capable, violent, and you have a panache. A panache for displacement. As a matter of fact, you, me, Cages, Travoltas, we're not all so different, you and I, are we? Instead of committing to the bit, you flirt with it. But there has to be some sort of displacement behind it. Think you the movie action hero? Might well you be. Could be a safe coping mechanism for where we stay. And he kind of looks at you and pauses for a second, and closes his eyes, and says, without my dear Gerald here, I am going to be particularly lonely. The only thing that I need from you is an acknowledgement that this agreement stands as something you may consider. If you are to provide a reason for any poser ganger to come to this building, anyone masquerading as the life that they've always wanted. Some sort of strange, perverted self-effacing makeup job to come to this building. I will pay you 1,000 euro dollars a head. If you simply agree that this is a standing agreement, not even one you need to take up, I shall give you your information.
Right. Acknowledged. It is an offer you've made that I will have to consider. But,
Oh, go ahead.
But what's to say the information you give me doesn't lead anywhere?
Oh, I believe that you will find this information quite riveting. You see, my dear Gerald, one who might go by Gary, an idiot with a half-shaved head and a penchant for technology, happened to stumble across this chip that you are not in the possession of. This chip appears to be something that quite a few poser gangers wish to have, allowing total synchronization, mind, body, spirit, and soul, with whatever their target is. Telemetry data will link with current situation. Alongside that, as long as you are able to forge a proper personality account, it would be as seamless a transition as putting on someone's face and becoming them for a day. But imagine it was for a lifetime. Truly, for one running from their own identity, this seems like a holy grail. Be exactly the person you want to be. So convincing that not a single person could tell you apart. Something that even can coerce your own cells in your body to mold into the DNA of the target. Gene therapy and psychology formed together in some sort of Freudian combination. Some sort of identity forged for yourself. Well, the Travoltas came. They were looking for the item. And Gerald, at first, was reticent, wishing to turn them into, well, I think you know what he wanted to turn them into. Quite a collection. All of them right there. But something stayed his hand. I believe his hand was stayed by incredible violence. And it's at this point, he hasn't like fully looked at you. He kind of turns his head at this point, and you see there's a massive bruise on the left side of his face. He kind of says, they absconded with him under duress, and the behavioral chip as well. If you're looking for more clues as to where he might have gone, well, I could not tell you where he went, but his room is simply 1, 2, 3, that's what I thought, 3 doors up. And he pulls out a key, and he sets it on the table right beside him. And he says, this will go to his room. I decided quite a while ago it would be a boon to have, but now as I don't have a roommate and I'm all alone in this purgatorial castle, I don't think I have need of it anymore. No one will be watching my movements, what rafters I walk.
I will reach out for the key. I mean,
Yeah.
It's not like he can hurt my big metal arms.
No, absolutely. You walk up to the table and you grab the key, and he kind of just stares at you, and he kind of looks up and down and says, my, but if you were to just pick a lane, you'd be the greatest of them all. And kind of like gives you this real weird smile.
Well, I like to dance on the line. Maybe some other day.
Kind of nods and says, just remember, a dancer might always break their ankle, and then they dance no longer. You'll find the answers that you want in that apartment, I'm sure of it. I haven't looked it over myself. I have no taste for it. As for anything else you've seen in this building, I would hope that we have the respect to, at the very least, if you won't consider my offer seriously, at the very least, we can be professionals in separate environs.
Probably could. And remember, a dancer may not dance any further once they break a leg. But that's an actor's stock and trade.
Oh, he gives you a big smile and he says, I quite like you. You know, I do hope that you consider my offer. And then he kind of just goes back to he takes a bite of his food and looks at Connor and says, oh, and my friend, you are quite well versed. I might have some work, a few loose ends that I might need to tie up. If either of you are ever interested, and he shoots you guys his deets, you have no idea how he does it. You know, he might have an internal agent, but also this is the kind of motherfucker who might have set that shit on a fucking timer. You don't know. You know? He says, please give me a call. If I'm able to maintain this quality of living in a building as dilapidated as this, imagine what I might have stowed away in places that you can't reach, but I could always give.
Okay, that's an idea.
Connor just nods in acknowledgement.
And now we will take our leave, and you enjoy your meal.
And
He really feels uncomfortable saying that.
Oh, yeah. And as you say that, the record player that you now see on the table, not on the table, on like the dresser up here, it stops. The aria has finally finished right as you said that. He takes a deep breath of satisfaction at the timing of that and says, and you enjoy your investigation. Have fun hunting ghosts.
Yeah, time to de-ass that room.
Yeah. You guys walk out. Do you close the door behind you? Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. I love. Yes, I do. Yeah. So you guys exit, and you hear the exact same record start up again, just behind the door. It's not over the loudspeakers this time.
Time to go to that door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's check the room out.
There you go. You are able to open that door. Okay, you open it. There is a light switch. Boop. So, in this room, you see a more lived-in, slightly more messy room. There is a bed with a still-on monitor. There is a chair, a couch. There's probably a few scraps of paper, like old bills, lying under the door. And there is a counter, a fridge, a microwave, and some Chinese food clutter.
Don't know why, but I checked the microwave.
Yeah, you open up the microwave and you actually see moldy old Chinese food.
Ugh.
Toss the bed.
Yeah, you toss the bed. You find some old used tissues, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, and then you also look around under the bedspreads. You see that this dude's basically sleeping on a pile of laundry.
Check the fridge and the cupboards.
In the fridge is empty except condiments and a single egg in the egg carton. The egg has surely gone bad as it's leaking out the side. There's like a crack in it. And in the cupboards, you see a half-empty bag of flour, a full bag of sugar, and what look like Valentine's chocolates.
Searching the bathroom.
The bathroom is not a pleasant sight. It's fucking filthy. The toilet is disgusting. It looks like it clogged a long time ago and he never did anything about it. The sink is full of hair, like wet, old, slightly moldy hair. And as for the bathtub, full of black mold, just absolutely full of black mold.
So is that just a monitor, or is it like a laptop or something?
It's a monitor to a computer. You do see the computer like terminal stuff right underneath it.
Okay, getting the hell out of that bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Even if
worse
you
for
are an
me.
edge runner, black mold ain't good for your health.
No, why do you think
Not
I got
unless you got the
my
nasal filters.
vac weave turned on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you have this monitor here with a computer. It is still on and it is unlocked. You see the background of this computer is the background of this computer is what is his name? The background of this computer is fucking Jean Baptiste Jean Baptiste, what is it? From Fifth Element? Zerg?
Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg.
That's it,
Yeah.
Zorg. You see Zorg as the background image. The most dashing picture of Zorg you could get. Which is not a very dashing picture at all. And yeah,
So he went by Gary, as in Gary Oldman.
that's the one. The rabbit hole goes deeper and deeper. I told you this was perfect for you. But yeah.
Could
So
be worse.
yeah.
Do we want to check it here, or should we just take it back and let Cash look at it?
Yeah, we're bringing the cash.
Okay. Yeah, the less time I spend in this horror show, the better.
Yes, we're
And I
we're
thought
going to
my
leave and go get drunk.
by all means, and I think I'm buying. I thought North
Absolutely.
Africa was bad, but Jesus Christ.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. So you guys exfiltrate from this building. Do you do anything special on the way out, or you guys just head out?
No, I don't have any cans of gasoline and matches.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't have that type of firepower.
Yeah. So as you guys leave, coming back out into the pelting rain, you look back at this imposing, derelicted building, knowing what's inside it, and on the air you hear just the faint sound of the faintest sound of Glenn Gould playing the Goldberg variations. And we are going to cut that area for right now. We're going to get back to everybody in just a second. I need to use the restroom real quick. And give me just 1 second.
Now we know what the title meant.
Yep.
Ugh. Mira and her fucking fucked up mind.
You know what the scary thing is? I think Connor's like, I might take him up on those offers.
I mean,
Payne's just trying to figure out a way of
Free
maybe setting that guy up to be gotten rid of, because, ew.
you could have just shot him in the face.
Could have just shot him in the face, sure. But don't know if that would work, because Hannibal Lecter. Much better to send somebody else after him. And it's also doubly creepy that he's the Mads Mikkelsen Hannibal Lecter face, but he talks like Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, free money. I mean, why not send like Travolta team people back to him?
It's true, but can he deal with as many as they're going to send? I mean, his partner succumbed to blinding violence.
I mean, I was typing in Twitch chat like when you guys first got there, and Brian, you were like, but they put a trap. They put that in the front, and now they'll have a trap in the back, thinking that people will go in the back. But I just had flashbacks to Princess Bride. You would put it in your cup, but you would know I'd put it in your cup, so you'd think I'd put it in my own cup. However, if you were a wise man,
That's actually right.
Never go against the Sicilian when death is on the
just
line.
on the line.
Sounds like I need to start microdosing arsenic.
Yes.
Well, depending on which game you're in, it might not be a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be nice and poisonous when the dragon eats you.
All right, and I am back. Sorry about that brief break, y'all.
You know,
So-
I was just about to start running a 3-minute ad break.
Oh yeah. Let's
yeah,
see.
maybe remind me to do that next time.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we are gonna hit 2 more things tonight. We are going to hit cash, and we are going to hit. Well, actually, we can hit 3 things because I think we got time. Let's see. So let's start with cash. So cash. Let me actually get us over to the world map. Activate. Okay, so cash. You head down to DePip. You are down in DePip, which has, like I've said before, the largest open air bazaar in like the world, literally in the world. As you're going through, you have made a little bit of a inroad with the local community of netrunners, more as a actual employer slash a business owner, as opposed to just a free agent. So you're making contact with people who you've never actually made real contact with before. People who are like, yeah, we organize things. And you've been told that there is a night market specifically for computer parts tonight and server parts. You show up with Trixie. It is pelting rain, as it is wont to do just about 4 days out of every goddamn week. So you guys are prepared. You got umbrellas and shit. Are you wearing a rain slicker?
She's muted. She may not be
Oh,
there.
Amy, you are muted.
She may have had to step away for a minute.
Amy probably stepped away.
She's got tornado warnings and an extreme dust cloud warning right now.
Oh shit.
So.
We might actually get back to her next session then. We'll see how it goes. So, instead of that, we're going to jump back in time a little bit. So, Cachette. Pepinos Stephanopoulos has come and picked you up. He's picked you up in the car that you drove him in at that one point, proving that, yes, in fact, he does know how to drive, and he probably was bullshitting you last time because he was too lazy. But he picks you up in the car, rolls down the window as he pulls up to the garage and says, "You ready?"
How am I supposed to get my thing there without it being seen?
The guns?
No,
The
suit.
of armor.
Oh,
That's
you
why
want
he
to
was
bring the
gonna take the
suit?
van.
She told me to bring the suit.
Oh, that's right. She did. He'll probably pull up in the car then, and there will be a work van that you can take.
Yeah, he'll probably just be getting out of the work van then.
Yeah. He'll pull up and he'll park and be like, "This isn't one of those chop shop garages, is it? I'm not going to lose my beautiful car here."
Oh, I know. They already took my arms and gave me these things.
He kind of gives you one of those looks, and Serum, who's working on a car, looks over and goes, "Oh, that is a beautiful vehicle, sir. I promise I will not lay a finger on it. Though if you want me to detail and clean it, I got a free 30 minutes. I'd be more than happy." And he goes, "You do not touch this car. This car has been through one world war and one resource war." Kind of puts up his hands, goes, "Okay, you know."
Oh, you should see the last car someone trusted him with.
Oof. That's a sore subject.
Wow.
Which he's been fixing the van. The van is in repair mode. He's been spending like 18 hours out of every day fixing that fucking van.
Yeah, and he can tell he's very much doing it out of gallows humor because that was the night when everything hit the shit.
Oh yeah. But yeah. Probably goes, "All right. Well, I'm assuming since this is your vehicle you're driving."
It's company property, but yes, I suppose if it was a little too much for you, old man, I can drive there.
"Oh, I don't have a license anymore." And he kind of smiles as he chirps the car keys.
Well, just because you don't have a license doesn't mean you can't do it.
He says, "Tell White Wolf that." And he chuckles as he, uses his cane to get into the van.
Oh, I've got more to explain to White Wolf than licenses. Also getting in.
Yeah, he says, "Well, remember the cardinal rule. Break only one law at a time. If you speed even 1 mile or even 1 kilometer over, then I'm going to hit you with this cane."
He gets in, he's just like, I thought the golden rule was just not to talk to cops.
He says, "The problem is that they still talk to you."
Oh, that's why you pretend to be deaf. As he starts to pull out.
Yeah. And so you guys head up towards, I believe it was a warehouse in Zeeburg, correct?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So you guys head up, driving through the area through Zeeburg. You probably go through Jewish Quarter, up around Nemo, through Plantage into Zeeburg. And, as you get there, you finally end up going to this warehouse. It's in a really shady part of town. But you see that it is for sure the warehouse. It's an old textiles warehouse. And actually, you know what? No, it's an old hubcap warehouse. And as you kind of approach, you see her. You see Anastasia. Anastasia, is that her name again? Let me double check.
Yeah.
Anastovia.
Anastovia.
You see Anastovia kind of standing there with her arms crossed. She's wearing a black leather jacket that goes down to her knees, black kind of combat pants, sunglasses, a black beret, and has a black umbrella above her. She very much looks the part as you approach.
And Cachette, for his part, needing something a bit smaller to wear because of the horrible, horrible Russian control scheme inside this thing, is just in like a sleeveless shirt and some cargo pants.
Sure.
So you can see actually the connection ports for his arms.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, you guys pull up and she's just kind of standing there waiting for you to get out of the van.
And he gets out, opens the back, and he starts, bringing out the guns.
She's like, "Not here. 1 second." And she kind of like...
Oh, I thought we were in the spot where we were. Never mind.
You are, but she kind of goes and walks over to the edge of the warehouse and pulls open the door and ushers you to drive the van.
Drive it in. That's kind of what I meant. I thought we'd already... Sorry, my bad.
Oh, no, yeah, you were outside of it. She was standing in the rain and everything. Yeah, She has you pull in, right, and closes the door behind. And you see that there are 8 bodyguards in here. Each of them, they're not like normal Dimokshbi armed of like, oh yeah, they're probably carrying something. And if they are carrying something that's big, they have it out on their person. But it's like, that's pretty rare. No, these guys are all in tactical gear. They all have very big weapons. And they immediately kind of circle the van. And, you know, one of them kind of looks over you and scans a bright light in your face as he kind of goes over it. They do one to Bepano Stepanopoulos as well, and he goes, "You jackass! You know me!" And you hear Anastovia, "Ah, Jonah. Well, it's a pleasure that you're here. I wasn't expecting you." Kind of says, "Yes, well, good gifts always come unexpected, don't they?" She says, quiet with the chatter. "I know that you're simply here because Heim told you to be here. So come out and be the mole that you are."
He is here because it is a way for me to get a favor with him and Heim.
Kind of pauses and looks at you, looks you up and down. Shrewd. Still stands Bepano Stepanopoulos, or it still stands Jonah, if you wouldn't mind having my 2 gentlemen accompany you to that pile of boxes over there. That will be the audience gallery. And he kind of says, "Fine, don't have to tell me more than once," and kind of gets out and looks over at you with one of those looks, not so worried, but more just like a very like, it would be an "I told you so" look if it didn't look a little stressed. You know what I mean?
You see what I mean now.
Yeah, exactly. As he kind of like walks out with his cane, and the 2 guys, I mean, they're not rough with him. They're not, these guys are still allies ostensibly, but like there's definitely an air of tension, you know?
Yeah, and Kashet like opens the back of the truck and maybe can't see into it because it's probably dark.
Yeah.
Get inside and quiet for a little bit. Then there's just like a very big truck engine starting, and then there's just a floodlight that starts up before these 2 big yellow eye lights, and then the heavy stomp that shakes the truck side to side as the suit comes walking out, just holding all 3 guns.
Yeah. And she kind of is looking and has a look of, well, it's hard to read her face. She's got a very plain expression on her face. Very good at a
There
poker
is
face.
human empathy.
If you would like to do that, go ahead.
That is a thing I could potentially do,
That
I
seems
think,
like a good idea.
somewhere. Human perception, not
Human perception,
empathy.
that's the one.
But it uses empathy as a stat. Ho ho.
Oh, nice. You look at her face, and she is calculating everything. She's looking at the suit. She's looking at the dimensions. She's looking at your demeanor. She's looking at the guns. She's taking everything in. You can tell that behind those mirrored black sunglasses, there is a spreadsheet going on that she is filling in right now. Maybe not with cyberware, but definitely something in her head. You know what I mean?
And it's hard to read anything about Kashet when he's in here, obviously. You can't read anything. This is very much like a T-45, where it's just this blank yet sort of angry metallic face.
Sure. Like that stoic defender look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the growl of the engine and the grunt of these old Soviet-style machine parts as it stomps its way towards whatever she's set up as like a firing range.
Yeah, and there is a full suite firing range up to 100 yards. This is a big warehouse. And the other thing you notice about this warehouse, make me an awareness notice. This is an old hubcap warehouse. These are not the containers that you keep hubcaps in. These are polymer containers. Big ones. Lots of gear. If you had to guess, a lot of this is milsurp, rations, pretty much everything you need for an army. You know what I mean? Uniforms, all that stuff. And it is kept quartermaster clean. You know what I mean? Like, this is the kind of stuff.
Everything but weapons.
There might be some crates for weapons too. You might actually be able to pick out. There's a Galil shipment sitting in the open. It's not hidden or tucked away, and it's the only weapon shipment. But with what you're seeing, there has to be more shipments in here.
Right.
It's just the matter of like, where are they? And you don't have the sorting key. You know?
It's like, like, and obviously his voice is very filtered through this thing, as there's like a speaker for it.
Yeah.
Putting together your own little army out here. Is that what this is interest in my machines for?
She says, the interest in your machine is simply with your machine. The interest with your machine is simply with your machine. You're the one who wanted me to help you get across the river. My interest is in your weapons. Your patent Uzi was quite effective. In fact, I used it in my service in the IDF and saved my life multiple times. Have a respect for that. Show me what you have.
Oh, like, right, and he's been putting them down gently with these big mechanical hands, and there's not even a pause. There's just this click. The two front plates on the arm move out. The machine gun pops out, and he just sprays it across a line of targets they probably have set up.
Oh yeah. Kind of nods in approval, says, good. Next weapon.
Yeah, and there's sounds for a moment as it re-closes. He's like, the one bad thing about this is the hands are a bit too cumbersome for standard weapons. Pops out the back as the back plate opens up.
Yeah.
He takes trying to think what the three were. There's Bessie, Felix's gun.
Jackhammer.
Yeah, was it the Pancor?
Were you going to bring the Pancor?
Yeah,
That's what you discussed, yeah.
Yeah. I was just something. Yeah, it was the Pancor, and just like.
And then you had the machine gun that you just fired.
Yeah. Well, that was also more to show off the suit itself.
Oh yeah, and she seems to only be interested in the rate of fire on the weapon that you were wielding.
Oh, and it was insane. It is an MG3, so it is just a modernized MG42.
Oh yeah, and you can tell anything you bring up about the armor, because you have a really good human perception there on her. Anything that you show with the armor is she's not so interested, but the second weapons get involved, that seems to be very much her key concern.
Yeah, and he takes out the jackhammer and he's like, personal piece of mine. Modified version of the Pancor jackhammer A3. Solved the problem of having to basically eject the entire assembly every time you wanted to reload. Shoulders it. Bang, 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 bang.
Excellent rate of fire. Does it reload like a street sweeper or an A12? An AA-12?
Closer to it, as he takes basically a clip out of it, is like an AA-12.
Kind of
reload
nods.
from the back, had to slightly lengthen the whole of the assembly, so there is a bit more machining that needs to be done to make these a bit more complicated and a bit more moving parts. But a lot better than having to completely disassemble it in order to reload.
And you'd be capable of making these at scale, potentially?
Potentially. This one is a personal project.
Kind of nods and goes, understood. Next weapon?
Takes the Vector. Nice and shiny, new chrome on it and everything. All the parts now put on it. In fact, let me just find our little thing, because I think that would be part of what he described, just to kind of get his point across. He's like, Chris Super Vector, already a capable submachine gun. Heat-resistant barrel, brass catcher, computer-assisted aiming, custom pistol grips, modeled just to the person's specifications. extended barrel, gas venting, high capacity magazines, laser sights. I would go on. This, well, he one hands it and fires, and there's some recoil, but not a ton. He's
Yeah.
like, built for someone who is not necessarily capable with firearms. Fire one-handed. The computer aiding assistance, especially if you're hooked up into any cybernetics, you don't even need to aim down the sights in order to have perfect aim.
Kind of nods and says, excellent. Excellent prototypes and example floor models. Anything else to show me?
Yeah. Another custom piece made by someone made for one of my associates, though they made the original gun as he pulls out Bessie. 20mm anti-material rifle. When I was given to this, it was in 2 pieces. Shot by an equally devastating weapon straight through the trigger mechanism. I've kept every part that I could while rebuilding it. Bang!
Yeah.
Has a kick to it, makes me very glad that I don't have a real shoulder.
She kind of looks and nods and says, impressive work. The stories live up. Kind of pauses and says, you've sold guns in every major theater. How
And
would
you're
you
wanting me to sell to you?
Potentially. I do have a question for you, though. Selling weapons in the African front. What would you describe your time there as?
What would be the role to kind of guess what she's trying to get at with that?
Oh, you've already rolled the human perception. You can tell. I mean, even with this human perception roll, you can't quite tell what she's getting at, though there is definitely a weight behind what she just asked you as a question. It's one of those things where, you don't ask that kind of question and expect the room to not bottom out for a second.
I'll tell you the truth. By the time that I went into the Africa conflict, I thought that I was, fresh off the IDF. I thought that everything was still all gung-ho war. That changed it. That changed everything. You don't see the results of your weapons being used against moving targets, as they would call them, and not be changed as a person. So if what you're saying is if I was one of the people like Lucan who enjoyed the conflict out there, no. But I'm good at what I do, and I do it.
She kind of nods, and you can see she breaks the facade just a little bit, intentionally, to kind of let you in, She kind of gives you a nod and a very much like a, I would agree. That's a very good answer. Kind of pauses. How quickly could you get me 50 of the vectors? And 10 of the machine guns?
Well, the machine guns are going to be more difficult. These ones are stripped down of most of their major components in order to fit within the suit. For example, this one's belt-fed, but the belt goes into the arm.
If you were to assemble them as a standard weapon, assume they're going to be used as squad automatic.
Depends on money is more the case, especially with the Vector, if you're wanting me to have it with all of the bells and whistles.
Double cost.
Is this coming out of Demokshpi's pay?
Do you really care where the money's coming from?
I care where the money's coming from if it's going to put me in bad standing with one of the larger people that are buying from me.
Time Fetterman has nothing to do with the money, nor does any other member of Demokshpi other than myself. This is a solely self-funded project.
You know of who I work for, right?
Yes, I understand. And so long as she has no conflicts, I have no conflicts.
I can't speak for her, but she is in good standing with the Makshpi. The Makshpi is one of her ways to get into the city.
Understood. Well, whatever you decide, my offer stands. Double price. That will be the first shipment. As a sign of good faith. Past that, negotiate on 1.5.
And he'll think on that and nod and be like, as long as this isn't going to be ending up used against the Makshpi, or in such a way where this is going to end up biting me in the ass, or biting her in the ass. Because if you
And-
bite the black woman, or the black lady,
The lady in black.
the lady in black, sorry. If you bite the lady in black, let's just say there's enough corpses that you know what will happen to you.
I'll tell you two things about this operation. The first thing is that this operation has no intent on using Jewish weapons against Jewish people. In fact, this operation has no intent in harming the Jewish community at any point. The second thing I'll tell you is that with the woman in black, so long as she doesn't have any issues with me, I won't have any issues with her. And she had better not hope that she has issues with me.
Ooh, big talk for a small fish.
Oh, Kushek gets this, hit one of his dumb little smiles, and he's like, you're bold. So
And-
was Lucan.
And she looks at you for a second.
1.75 negotiate.
Oh, she looks at you and she goes, 1.6. And if you ever compare me to that monster again, I'll make sure that you bleed out over the river.
Don't be a warmonger, then. And he just leaves it at that and is like, the vectors will take more time, custom made. The machine guns should be easier. Obviously, you'll source the ammo yourself.
He nods. She says, excellent. Payment upon delivery. However, I'll give you a stipend up front, and we'll determine how much that is, but it'll be enough to... Actually, you know what? She'll go full payment up front as a sign of trust. And she'll hand you a black onyx cred stick, which you would know those carry a lot of money and are very secure bank accounts. Those are some I know people to have that kind of cred stick. She hands it to you and she says, be good and be good and kind.
He nods. He's like, speaking of, when is the earliest we can get the Maginot across?
Do you have an area where you're able to seat it?
I know exactly where it needs to go.
Kind of nods and says, send me coordinates. I'll get it to the closest and safest route. We should be able to do it within the week.
It is
We have a
also
oh,
it's also pressure sealed up to 30 meters. So, if need be, can drop me across in the river.
kind of pauses and says, to what sort of end would I baptize a friend? No. We'll have a cargo container, easily put there. If you give me the location, we can even ship it directly to there. No one will ask questions. It will be guarded by at least 12 men. There will be no way in which it can be impregnated in any way, nor will it be stolen. If it is, I will pay you back 3 times what the suit is worth, and help you source all the parts yourself.
He nods. He's like, you've been good to me, I'll be good to you. I
Kind
hope
of
you know
nod.
that I don't mean anything personal with my words.
And she holds out her hand for a handshake and says, no offense is taken. We work in very strange business.
He takes it a little too hard a grip, but obviously isn't intending for it to be.
Oh yeah, and I mean, she's tough. She's wearing black gloves and everything. She doesn't give a fuck. She shakes your hand and, kind of says, kind of stands back. And at this point, probably Bepano Stephanopoulos is is being escorted back to the van and says, If you'd like, you can leave the suit with us right here, or you can take it back with you. It'll save you a trip if you leave it here, but I understand having it next to you.
That, and with some of the profits I've been made, the first thing I'm going to do is get every piece of Soviet garbage out of this thing.
He kind of chuckles and goes, seems like a solid idea. I noticed that there were a few... Well, let's just say I could tell that your ACS system was lacking.
Soviet Union is still around, right? Or did it collapse?
Roughly, there is the Soviet bloc, but it's like there aren't really any countries necessarily. It's kind of like this thing where it says it's bigger than it is, but actually most of that land is the Chinese Union or the Chinese Chinese city-state, I think is what it's called. I forget what I called it. And then meanwhile, China basically goes, oh yeah, we're smaller than we look, but it's actually encroaching on a lot of Russian territory or Soviet territory.
Yeah.
So there's like a little bit of a conflict.
Yeah, he hops back in as it closes and makes that very almost like a tiger growling sound as it starts up, and he's like, let's just say I'm surprised the Soviet Union didn't fall apart sooner than it did.
Kind of says, if you had been there, you'd know it's been dead for quite a long time.
Oh yeah, I mean sooner, as he starts walking away.
Yeah. And probably at that point, she has apparently seen all she wants to see. She walks by Jonah and says, good day. He says, and a good day to you. Have it in health. And she walks out of the building into a black car in the rain, leaving just you, her goons, and Bepano Stephanopoulos.
Kuchet puts everything back and waits until we're in the car and a far enough distance away.
Yeah.
And looks over to him and he's like, what's her game that you know of?
Kind of looks and goes, that's what we've been trying to figure out. We aren't quite sure what her situation is, but, well, kind of pauses for a second. At the very least, she never speaks mistruthfully. She's not going to use it against us.
She's not going to use it against you. How do we know that she's not trying to somehow power her way up the Markspi's ladder?
Well, that's a good question. We don't. That's how it goes. You know, kind of says, just understand. And he kind of looks at you, and this is, you guys have had a couple genuine moments before, but they're few and far between, and he gives you a look that's very much like a fatherly kind of like, hey, I'm saying something really important, and he's like, when you play with fire, it's not just you that gets burned. You might burn a house down. I trust you. Just be careful.
He nods at that, and the facade breaks a little bit. He just sighs, and he's like, I've already made the deal, and I already have the money. But if I even get an inkling that this is going to hurt people like you and the Markspie, that'll be the last deal I make with her.
Kind of nods. He pats you on the arm and says, "Good boy." Kind of, and kind of puts his hand back in his lap, and he goes, there's this diner that I know about around here. I'm actually very hungry. You want to stop by before we go back?
I have a company card.
And yeah, so you guys, we're gonna cut on that and go to our last bit of the night. We are going to Trinix. So, Trinix, you have been brought to a place that is called the Drippy Egg, or the Drippy Egg Diner. It is very much Americana diner, right? It is in Plantage, just like right up in the corner here, like in the little area between Nemo, Zeeburg, and the Jewish Quarter. This tiny little corner. Looks totally mom and pop. You walk in, and it's totally it's less like a 50s diner and more like a Waffle House, you know? You smell the smell of grease and eggs and pancakes and all sorts of shit. You think you probably see a cockroach skitter across the floor, you know, stuff like that.
Oh,
Probably,
this place is healthy.
yeah. And he looks and goes, probably Rainier looks at you and goes, you know, I got a rule of thumb. The more absolutely filthy, or the better, the more absolutely filthy a place is, typically the better the food is. At least on places like this. Here, and kind of sits down at a table, and um, you know, a woman comes by and goes, kind of walks by and goes, Harry, it's a pleasure to see you. You haven't been in like a couple weeks. Where you been, babe? And he's like, um, he's like, he's like, work, work. Goes, is this your son? Goes, something like that. She goes, well, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name's Midge. He's so nice. You know, he never brings in company. You know, one time he brought in a girl and goes, Midge. Goes, all right, I'm sorry. You're saying your dad's a very eligible bachelor and not in the mean way. And kind of goes, you want the usual, hun? Goes, yeah. Kid, what do you want?
Fuck it, let's have whatever you're having with extra protein.
Kind of go, and he kind of smirks at you. She's like, oh, honey, are you sure? And he goes, you heard the kid. Grown boy. All right. Don't say I didn't warn you, kid. And, you know, walks back into the kitchen, kind of pauses, and, you know, Rainier takes a deep breath, and for once, he takes the breath out, and his shoulders are not perfectly square and level. Like, he lets them drop. This is the most relaxed you've ever seen Rainier. Like, this would be like if you saw somebody laying on the beach with sunglasses and like a Mai Tai beside them. Like, this is Rainier's version of that, is not being set like a watch, you know? Takes off his sunglasses and kind of rubs his eyes with his two fingers a little bit and paps out a cigarette and lights it up, you know? Like,
Been a rough week for you?
kind of looks and kind of scoffs and goes, if I told you, you wouldn't believe me. Kind of like leans back and goes,
You have no idea what I would believe.
you know, kind of guessed that. So, real question, man to man, you got any idea what's going on here?
We're eating food?
No. Not here. You can drop the cutesy act. Trust me. I really don't give a shit if you know what's going on or not. I don't care if you know that JFK was abducted by aliens and then his body double was shot.
And they're living on the moon. Yeah, and the whole family's on the moon in a house. Yeah, I know.
You actually get a chuckle out of him for that. He's like, huh. So yeah. What do you figure?
Figure a lot. There's a lot going through my brain on a daily basis. So, yeah. Just a lot of things, trying to line things up just right so that I can get as much knowledge and information in my head to make me a more effective doctor.
For the bald guy, right?
Bald dude. Yeah.
He goes, say what?
Like, yeah, sure.
He goes, can't answer your questions proper, but I can answer one. Not a lot of people on your side. I don't even know if I am at this point. Kinda takes a deep drag and goes, but also whatever the fuck's going on is bullshit. Whatever happens is professional. be honest with you. You're not a dick. I'll put you at least one rung above most of them.
So I've been upgraded from maggot to pus.
He kind of smirks.
Pus to maggot. However it goes, I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
Kind of smirks and goes, something like that. And as he kind of says that, 3 huge plates come out for both of you. What is consisting is there is a stack of 5 full-size pancakes. There is a omelet covered in bacon and cheese. And then there is a plate that is just sausage and bacon. Your plate with sausage and bacon is stacked twice as high. Oh yeah, and a single English muffin for both of you. He goes, all right, dig in, kid.
Dude, this is enough food for like 6 years.
He goes,
All right. I'll eat
Yeah,
as
and
much as I can.
he's like, you want to hear a secret? As he like takes a final pull of the cigarette and kind of dashes it in a little, probably in the palm of his hand. Probably leans into your non-response and goes, I have to eat 10,000 calories per meal. Otherwise, bad stuff happens. He kind of crinkles the cigarette and sticks it in his front pocket and then just starts digging in.
All right. Take a bite. Hey,
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good diner food. But yeah, I think what we'll probably do, is you guys are eating and, as you're eating, he probably mentions at some point after this, I'm going to take you back to the club or back to your house. I don't know how much they actually want you and me to be around there. Emphasis on me, And he's like, I can just take you back to your house if you want.
Yeah. I had to move a lot of my data to the house because they don't like you. But, whatever.
Kind of
Not
nods
that bad
and
of a person.
yeah, he shrugs and he goes, you know what? If I was them, I wouldn't like me either. I don't think I like me anyway. Takes another big ass bite as if that's just nothing to say. And then goes, hey, we'll take you back home. You got a guest bedroom or am I sleeping on a chair in the hallway again?
I thought there was another bedroom in that.
Kinda
There
nods.
probably is, considering that you weren't the only person whose name is on that apartment.
Oh yeah. The other person is Pain Dexter, isn't it?
No, it's Serum.
Oh, it's Serum. That's right. Kinda goes, right on. It'd be nice to sleep on a bed. And yeah, we'll probably cut as we pull back from there and pull farther back and farther back until right above the rain clouds, we see a drone slowly hovering by. And we are going to call it there for the night, everybody. Oh shit, Amy, are you back?
I am. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're okay. No issue. No issue. Do you want to get to your scene tonight or do you want to do it next time?
We can do it next time.
Okay. I just wanted to check because I want to make sure that you were doing good. So
Yeah.
we'll open with it next time. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds great. Hey, yeah, that's great. That's great.
All right, excellent. Then we are going to do a sign off, and let's start with Amy.
Sure. Hi, I'm Amy again, and today I played Cash, and things kind of went a little weird. And let's see here. On every other Friday, I'm in the Samurai game, which is the Immortal War, and Rowan runs that. And then Wednesdays, I'm in Over the Horizon, which is 5e, and Cyrus Smith runs that. And then sometimes you can catch me here on Thursdays, where Mira runs Cyberpunk. And these are the I love it. That's yes, that's me.
Excellent. All right. Excellent. Next, let's go for do Trinix.
What my name was. Okay,
Huh.
so I'm Scott, and I did Trinix, went to work, then I had some food that'll last me for eons.
Huh.
I'll eat what I can, but hopefully they give me a to-go plate or box or whatever they're called. Anyways, what else am I in? Okay, today's Thursday, so Saturday, every other Saturday. I think it's this Saturday. Is it this Saturday or not? Yes.
Yes, it's this Saturday.
Okay, this Saturday is After the Bomb, where I play somebody, LJ, I think, where
Yes.
everybody's mad at him because, hey, they knew where we lived. They don't need to exist anymore. I talk with my gut. Deal with it. And then the following, not the next day, but a week later, we have Gloomfall, where I'm getting followers for religious purposes and getting workers to further their glory for God. Cultimac.
Yeah.
And then on Monday, we have Shardverse something, whatever, 13 something.
1385 or 1835?
I don't
Rowan always gets me on this one.
1385.
Thank you.
Yeah, 1385. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay, where I play a healer type dude. My brain forgot what his name is, but I did really good in mechs and then went and healed a bunch of people, I think. Made him better after the combat thing. I don't know.
And you did illegal surgery last session.
Yeah, no, what? Yeah. I did surgery. Well, whatever. And then I don't. Oh, Tuesdays when we get to the GURPS thingy, I'll be in that as something. I don't remember much. It's gonna take me a moment to get used to that and figure out what he just don't like. She don't like combat. That's all I remember.
Hmm.
And then I think that's everything.
All
Yeah.
right. Right on. Next, let's go to Daniel.
Hello. Is y'all boy? Yeah, what up? You coming playing Omen? I get to do another show, and I'm still gonna bring someone into my bedroom afterwards, because Omen isn't gonna change his whole thing based on one small little attempt on his life.
Wow.
Just next time, he might not blow their head off. He might just break their limbs, and then like, well, good luck trying to get away.
Death by snoo.
But
Jesus.
you can catch me
Jesus
here
Christ.
tomorrow for the Immortal War. If you were watching Twitch chat, I was interacting with statements like "never gamble with Sicilian when death is on the line," or when all the bodies were missing parts. It's like they're building an amalgamation of all the posers into one ultimate superstar.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then the empty box. I'm just like, what's in the box? But yeah,
That's
you can
good.
catch me wrapping around. Wait, I didn't do Friday yet. Catch me tomorrow in the Immortal War as Masahira, the priest of Amaterasu who cut a guy's head off and can heal people with sacred fire in the Imperial City. This will be interesting. I've got family. And then wrapping around to Wednesdays, you can catch me there for Over the Horizon as Gideon, the guy who's just like talking. They're talking to some weird girl in a bubble, and then trees, chop, 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 kill all the talking trees, or walking trees, or eating trees, whatever. I killed them. That's all
Those
that's
trees
important.
had feelings.
Not for long. And that is everything I am in.
All right. Excellent. Next, let's do Rowan.
Oh boy. Hi ho, friendolas. My name is Rowan, otherwise known as Nightheart. You caught me here today playing Cachette, the gun runner who's not so sure if he wants to run these guns because this lady's kind of scary, so threat of violence or not, he decided it was good to be like, hey, do something wrong, my boss will cap you. We put someone far scarier than you away.
Yeah.
Got can also find me here tomorrow, where I will be running the L5R campaign set in a homebrew universe where, yes, everyone is now at the Imperial Capital. Let's see if it goes well. I mean, it is the summer festival. Nothing could possibly go wrong. You can also find me here on Mondays in Shrikeverse 1385, where I play Charity and Temperance, the two brothers who pilot a big stompy robot and are going to do some big stompy robot things. They've been doing some brotherly things and hinting at things to come with being an artificial Solarian and what that could mean. And on Wednesdays, I play Sinel, the snake who just wants people to respect his opinions, even if that means he has to blow up every amoeba in the universe in order to do it. And I am being a good player because I recognized, no, my character would not spend an hour going through the poo water in order to find every copper. I would, but my character wouldn't. Nor would they attack the squirrels to get their golden nuts. And that's it for me.
All right. Next, let's go to Brian.
Hello, I'm Brian. I played Conor McGregor. That was just a bad horror show.
Yeah.
That whole session, that whole combat, that was just one bad horror show after another. All the references to some good and some terrible movies. But yeah, so we had a little bit of fun in there. Let's see. On Mondays, you can find me in Shrikeverse 1385, hopefully. Life's been a little bit of a kick in the butt lately, but I should be able to make it out this time. Yeah, gotta work on that character. God, what else am I playing? Well, occasionally I make it out to the Immortal War, where I have a fun little, well, shogunate magistrate. But yeah, gotta talk about that a little bit more. But anyway, this Saturday you can find me running after the bomb. Yes, LJ does speak with his gun more than he does with his mind, which is interesting because it got a few people hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But they all lived, and I think combat went okay. Well, it went. It was fun, so if we're doing it right, great. If not, well, we'll figure it out. Next Sunday, you can find me running Gloomfall, where the last session they picked up a whole bunch of people who want to work for them. Most of them didn't want money either.
Yeah, definitely. Let's not look that gift horse in the mouth at all.
No, honestly, they're not Trojan horses.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, and this Tuesday, knock on wood, grab my 4-leaf clover and anything else that'll keep my luck going. We will be starting a World of Adventure, the GURPS fantasy game. Oh, please let this happen this week. And that's it.
All right. Excellent. Let's go to Computer King.
Yep, I'm Computer King, gentleman supervillain, and even though I did manage to get out quotes early on from The Sorcerer's Apprentice and both Ghost Rider movies, that whole thing was there was not one quote to be had, even though he had a couple of good lines of his own. He was too creeped out to do quotes.
Love how he basically just was like, I'm gonna psychoanalyze you. Like
yeah. Oh, creepy. Now on Fridays, or every other Friday, I'm in the Immortal War, where I'm Nagashita, who has, I think he's tricked a couple of monks into being his muscle when he goes down to the docks. And in the Shard verse of Fire Strike, I'm playing Lollipop, who looks like a giant brain with a spindly body, and he's trying to build a perfect AI to draw souls so that he can make a tribute to the robot god. Yeah, it sounds weird when you say it out loud. Uh, other than that, if you're an adult and you want to learn some stuff about the darker side of human sexuality, like BDSM and other shit like that, you can go to computerking.buzzsprout.com and listen to my podcast, Into the Dark with the Computer King. You can also look for just Computer King in any podcatcher or whatever you use to find podcasts. That's what I got going on.
All right, excellent. And then finally, someone who's had a bit of a chill session today. Let's go to Cyrus.
If it smells like miso and tastes like miso, it is not the best miso. Hello, everybody. My name is Cyrus Smith, and today you caught me playing there for a minute. Lucky here in New Amsterdam. You can also find me this coming Saturday and After the Bomb, where if Richard didn't feel like he should have just retired before all this is making him reconsider. What else? You can also find me on Wednesdays running Over the Horizon, where I have followed in the footsteps of many 5e DMs before me, who have learned that the Sentinel feat is not very nice.
How so?
Because when you're going to tell me that it works on any size category of creature, regardless of what that thing's size is, that's a little busted.
There's a lot of things like that, like the little robot that can push anything back 5 feet.
Yeah, no matter the size, because that makes sense.
Oh, don't worry.
Push
There's
to
if I
rest.
combine Sentinel with Polearm Master and anything that approaches my range, I get an attack of opportunity, so I can stop them at 10 feet away.
Yeah.
If I get Polearm Master, but that's probably not going to happen.
Oh, go for it. Go.
I was going to say, I'm not going to be mad if you don't. Just
But ability
feel-
score improvements.
But ability score improvements. You
Yeah,
got one
ASIs
already.
are great.
No, I
Oh,
took a
wait.
fever.
No, I'm talking about the dinner. Oh, wait, you didn't do that one.
Eh.
But that's nope. That's pretty much me.
All right, excellent. So, everybody, give yourself 7 IP. And hello, everybody. My name is Mira, also known as Mira Shade Gaming. If you like me, to run your game, go ahead and send me an email at mirashadesgm@gmail.com. Give me a call at 620-218-9949 in case you are more comfortable with calling or texting me. Or you could also message me on Instagram at mirashades_gaming. So tonight you caught me running New Amsterdam, my favorite setting to run, honestly. It is so fun to just be able to make everything a cyberpunk nightmare. It comes like second nature to me, so it's a good time. You can also catch me tomorrow, where I play Hiroki, the good boy samurai, who's just a good boy and a samurai. Also the last of his clan, but nobody needs to know that. Catch me on Saturday, where I play Adam McCarthy, much to the chagrin of his own last name, where he's been injured. Everyone else has been injured. He's pretty sick. He's pretty pissed because, they, well, first of all, that Marine is a fucking dunce, and we're going to yell at him. And second of all, LJ, he's mad at LJ. He's gonna have a conversation probably. But yeah, let's catch me on Monday for Shardverse, where I play Cle Nasaravi, the Bane of the Swarm, where he stuck a swarm spider up his nose and convulsed for an hour. Hot girl shit. I mean, swarm killer shit. I mean, what? And then yeah. Other than that, that is all I'm in. If you currently are watching us on Twitch, we love you so much. But also, you could be watching us again and again and again on youtube.com/Pair-O-Dice Theater. If you're watching us on YouTube, we love you so much. But what are you doing, you silly goose? You could be watching us live on Twitch. at twitch.tv/pair_o_dice_theater. And if you are a fan of interacting with us on Twitter, go ahead and catch us at Pair Theater on Twitter. Once again, I am Mira Shades GM. And from all of us here at Paradise Theater, let's get a Nozdravia and get the heck out of here.
Nozdravia!